I just know this team that he's using right here from a tweet that says Wolfey con perish no, which originally originated, I know I'm very good with words, please bear with me though, originally originated from this clip here from someone who's playing competitive Pokemon online, and this happened. Speak Spanish.
Ok, trovato subito l'avversario, attenzione. Wolfey!
Sees the team.
Wolfey con perish.
Wolfey con perish. No. And essentially that was the entire thing. That was the meme that started. So everyone starts tweeting Wolfey con perish no, which then he brings a perish team to the regionals that he then went to, and this is the story from there. This is the semifinals, and we're gonna go from here. That's Italian, not Spanish. Sorry, that's Italian. I don't know either language. Wakari masen desne.
Right, but
so let's go. Here we go.
Wolf has assembled. It fits him.
So he's got a bit of a perish team here.
Can be run while also just.
We got a lot of Protect on here. We got Kingdra, Politoed, Incineroar, Gothitelle, Amoonguss. Oh, dude, we love it. We love Amoonguss.
Being very cohesive. I don't think there's a 4 Pokemon on this list that you could pick that wouldn't work very well together in some way. And so it's really cool to see what
people were telling me to watch this. Like, really telling me to watch this. So you can see Wolfey's team, very Paris focused. Even the Politoed doesn't have a no, it does have a water move. It has Weather Ball, has Encore. So there's a lot of Pokemon potentially dying to a little bit of Perish Song here, which I love. I think that Pokemon dying to Perish Song is really funny. I like it a lot. And we have the team that he's going up against here: Annihilate, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, Tyranitar, Sneasler, Volcarona, and Indeedee Male. That is a tough team. That is a scary looking team. So let's see how the battle begins here, shall we?
Is active. We're not going to see.
All right, Sneasler and Indeedee leading against Kingdra and Gothitelle.
Paired with Gothitelle and Kingdra.
What's also really nice about this Indeedee, in comparison to other matches that we've seen, is
it's a shiny Sneasler as well.
And this fake out from this Gothitelle was able to put it in a lot of work and be able to slow down the enemy team. Thanks to that Psychic Terrain, that priority is gone.
Wolfey con perish no.
On the table for Indeedee as well. That could be really nice for Chuppa in this case to maybe.
How do we think they're going to start, chat? How do we think they're going to start?
In terms of
we've got Protect on the King left. Oh, it's a double. Is it double Protect? It might be a double Protect there, folks. It is a double Protect to scout out the terrestrialization from Chuppa. I apologize if I say his name wrong, by the way. It's Chuppa Cross the 4th, which is a sick name.
Just kind of stall things out. Something you got to be mindful of. And Chuppa is going to press on the go.
We see the terrestrialization come out immediately, terrestrializing
this match. That is going to be the Sneasler
into the Dark type Sneasler.
Terra Dark.
Terra Dark will power up the Throat Chop and also not allow the Gothitelle to damage the Sneasler at all. Its only attacking move will be.
But it was all a ruse.
And that's going to be
Gothitelle protecting from the Throat Chop.
That is
fantastic stuff.
Just called out on this first turn and a double protect from.
Oh, the Dire Claw actually.
So now you know that Chuppa no longer.
He said, "Psych! I did not Throat Chop. I instead Dire Claw."
Access to this terrestrialization down the line.
Never mind.
You know that you can't target into it with these types of moves.
The dong
like
has been expanded.
So
Indeedee is expanding its force all over the field, but doesn't matter because the double protects there to protect them.
I really like this play from
Don't have to worry about a thing.
The Terra Dark means that Gothitelle can't break the Focus Sash on the Sneasler, and of course you do still have.
We're going to see a double switch here.
For that huge expanding force.
Oh, the Trick Room's going to go up. Maybe
the Psychic Seed. Regardless, Gothitelle cannot damage it at all, and thanks to the Unburden, you're going to be moving faster than Kingdra, even if the Politoed swaps in and activates a Swift Swim. Indeedee with this Choice Scarf as well, might even be able to do some damage before the Kingdra can get a move off.
Yeah, so that's why
something
like this Trick Room, like
he's thinking about it, so got some time to think.
You do have some speedier.
Go for the Trick Room, go for the switch.
If you are looking at maybe a Kingdra down the line with bringing that Politoed in.
There, the Trick Room's going to go up.
Set the Trick Room
unless the Gothitelle dies, of course.
And well, your own Pokemon is going to be the last one to go. But other slower options on the team, and the fact that the Indeedee has that Choice Scarf you called out, and that Unburden.
The Incineroar comes in to fire off and intimidate on the Indeedee and the Sneasler. Of course, it's going to do nothing to the Indeedee.
Way to try and
doesn't use physical
limit
move.
some of what Sneasler can do.
Dire Claw goes into the Incineroar, doesn't fall asleep.
It does.
No, nothing like that.
An
expanding force is going to do nothing.
It's only going to be the Gothitelle taking the damage, and there's not very much at that.
Trick Room will
the Trick Room going up
versus the speed order, and because Shadow Tag is active,
that's very good for Wolfey, I assume.
On the field, they really
I would like to make it very clear that I'm not very good at VGC or competitive or anything like that. I'm not very good at it at all. In fact, I've never played a game of competitive or VGC in my life, not even once. Not even once have I sub-noodle. See?
ありがたいことに負けるのを見るのは恥ずかしすぎるだろう。
Don't worry about what I'm saying. The commentators know what they're talking about.
Cannot damage the Incineroar thanks to that dark typing, and Gothitelle took very little from that expanding force. Again, Gothitelle can't damage this Sneasler, which is a bit of a reprieve for Chuppa there, but this Incineroar already taking the attack down to one stage because of the Intimidate, and now threatening something like a knockoff to even get a little bit of damage off, but notably, no Flare Blitz, actually. So
you're going to see the knockoff going to the DD, potentially killing it here?
Not going to take too much damage this turn.
Yeah, and that's the thing is,
guys, how do you think they chose their starters?
sure, you're trying to limit what this Sneasler can do, and Chuppa's trying to limit what Wolf can do, and since he doesn't quite have that coverage, what you're kind of doing...
Do you think they chose their starters by their hands or their feet and then they fight? Because if I saw some Incineroar feet, I'd be like, that's red.
...into it in return isn't that much, so...
Guys, I don't think they use randomizers.
Try and limit just a little bit more and try to keep dwindling that attack away since Chuppa is stuck.
Ooh, the terrestrialization coming out from Wolfey now.
The terrestrialization of his own.
On the Incineroar.
His trusty duo into the ghost type.
She said the trusty duo. That's messed up. Okay. It's very well known that Wolfey does not like Incineroar, but you know, you kind of have to use the best Pokemon. It's like the best Pokemon in the world for
This Ghost means
the
that now
trusty duo
will be doing a decent chunk of damage to this Incineroar, but by going for this Ghost Terra, you imagine that the knockoff might be going into that Indeedee.
Oh, that's huge. Ooh, that's a one-hit KO.
Indeedee is gone and out of there. So
guys, what if we did a World Championships? We have 20 minutes to catch a Pokemon and then we fight.
any expanding forces down the line.
But it's the World
Once
Championships.
the train is gone, it is gone for good. Of course, you get the clean one-hit KO, the follow-up Psychic, just in case it was barely holding on.
Ooh, the CC does not work.
That terrestrialization. Talking about making sure the Sneasler's options are limited.
So Wolfey's in a really good position right here. I'm assuming there could be some turnaround that could happen here. Now that he's Terra Ghost, I mean, the Sneasler could just go to the throat and kill it, maybe. And there's the Gothitelle still there as well. So a lot of throat chop potential going on here. But of course, there's Protects.
The fighting type will have nothing to do to that Incineroar.
Yeah, I really love that play from Wolf for that exact reason. Indeedee is the only thing that can threaten the Ghost type Incineroar on this turn, unless...
Oh, there's a trick. There is the Trick Room, but the throat chop is still potentially very scary because, I mean, what can the Sneasler... What's the Sneasler really scared of right now? I don't think the Incineroar had like a Dark type move or a move that's good against Dark types.
By going for the terrestrialization and also knocking out the Indeedee at the same time, you imagine the Psychic was certainly aimed at that slot just in case it wasn't KO'd. You guarantee that Incineroar still doesn't take too much damage. You're matching the terrestrialization from Chuppa now, so you've both used that resource. That is available to you only once per game, and now Wolf is still in control here. But Tyranitar comes in, another Dark type for Gothitelle to do precisely 0 damage to. And again, this Incineroar only has knockoffs, so Tyranitar is not going to take too much damage for a few.
What are these glasses, man? I'm sorry. What is these outfits going on right now? I do not appreciate these fits. I'm sorry. I just don't like these fits.
Getting the first KO is nice. If you can get 2 though for Wolf, you can put all of a sudden Chuppa into that checkmate situation. That's the danger of the Patterrz song.
Oh, the Gothitelle comes back.
Come in because options in the back.
It's running away like baby child. The frog has arrived.
Politoed. The drizzle.
And now it's raining. You can't see clearly now because the rain is here.
The Patterrz song setter is coming on out. Incineroar Protect. The reason we
solid
don't see
protects.
something like a Flare Blitz on this
so the Sneasler's not going to kill it now.
Move as knockoff targeting into
Ooh, Tyranitar with a knockoff. Is it a double? Surely not the double into.
Damage onto that swap in, but no, it was the double.
Oh my god, what a prediction! My god, he's insane. How's he done that then?
That attack lock now is broken. So Wolf has
fantastic play from Wolfey there.
Pokemon, but because he has lost a Pokemon already, Chuppa can't swap both out. And depending on which one you pick, like you're gonna have either this -1 Sneasler on the field still, or this Tyranitar.
I can't believe he's just done that.
So there's not really a
fantastic
great option here
protect
if you're Chuppa anymore. Again, your offense still pretty strong. You have the +1 special defense on your Sneasler, which will allow it to survive this turn most likely. And Tyranitar, even with the rain up, I think should be able to survive 1 Weather Ball thanks to that Assault Vest. So you do have the option to start getting some damage out here, like a knockoff.
With the sand being away and with the rain being up, obviously Weather Ball becomes much stronger, but Tyranitar doesn't get the special defense boost from the sand anymore, making it a lot more frail, although Tyranitar's not really a Pokemon that we call frail. It is holding the Assault Vest, as we can see right there, and what the commentator just said, so it will take at least 1 hit, but it's going to do a lot of damage.
That Incineroar slot would be pretty devastating, but you have to like trade so many resources to get it off.
Oh, is that going to put it in range? That might actually put it in range. Oh, he's knocking off the Assault Vest. That's really smart. So now the Weather Ball potentially could just kill it now.
Doesn't have access to anymore. The follow-up with the Weather Ball is going to be doing a lot more
The frog goes crazy, folks. The frog is insane.
2 Pokemon in this game 1.
And just like you called out, Sierra, now we have the chance for.
And just like that, the Trick Room is up. The stage is set. Wolfey con perish no, with only 2 Pokemon left. All of it. That's a paralysis. What, dude? What the frick? What's going on with the? Are you good, camera? Are you chill? Now with the paralysis, I mean, you could just hit that patterrz song and it's GG's, game's Jover.
So paralysis coming through here, so might
unless he gets paralyzed.
As long as the polytoad can get one patterrz song off of, this game should be over.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and we have definitely seen some crazy Sneasler games, and that is going to be the
just needs to click patterrz song and he wins.
Field. So this is an opportunity to bring in something faster.
But if he gets paralyzed, it's a whole different ball game.
The only one that can do this patterrz song.
Pokeball game, that is. Sorry.
And there's not really a good way to keep it safe.
There's not a good way to keep it safe anymore, but Trick Room still being up means that Polytoad will be acting first thanks to that lowered speed from the paralysis. And so it's going to be...
Now, they say that the Polytoad will be acting first because of the lower speed from the paralysis, but that's not necessarily true because I might be acting first to use code patterrz at GamerSubs to save myself a lot of money on some delicious beverages and drinks. I might be acting before the Polytoad paralyzed in the Trick Room. That's how fast I'm going to act at saving that money using code patterrz at GamerSubs.
Interesting to see whether or not this Polytoad can act. Because, I mean, as long as patterrz song goes off, Wolf wins. Like, that's pretty clear at this point. But if Polytoad gets paralyzed, it could get tricky.
We'll have to see. It all comes down to this Polytoad, the little frog that could.
If Polytoad gets paralyzed, I'm going to be so sad.
One situation, Wolf is going to be one.
Come on, I mean, John PM7 will be so proud of this Polytoad if he gets the kill.
Closer.
Look at him! Look at his eyes! He's so sweet.
Into these finals, and that's the dangerous thing. It's just, it's out of your hands.
There it is, folks! I mean, and that is essentially game there.
Choppa with only 2 Pokemon. They're going to faint in 3 turns. And with everything on Wolf's team, having access to this Protect, and him just having 4 Pokemon to swap around, there is going to be no way for Choppa to be able to break through this.
Especially with that party.
Oh, man, yeah, I mean, there's just nothing you can do. Look at this. The whole team's still at full health. This is ridiculous. And Choppa is a fantastic Pokemon player. Literally made it to the semifinals of a regionals, and I'm assuming has like a lot of experience and awards behind them. Like, this is a very good player that Wolfey is just managing to.
Really don't need its offense anymore, and I think
to play around very well right now.
Into a possible attack. That's probably the right one because got the tell. You know, you can stall out some more turns with.
But Choppa can still come back. There is still more games. Choppa can make a comeback here.
Like at this point, something has to go very, very wrong in order for Wolf to lose this game, and I don't even know if it's like mathematically possible anymore. I think Choppa agrees.
You could just lose a Pokemon per turn, and you're still gonna win this game.
Exactly.
Like you can sit there and do absolutely nothing. And this Polytoad, thanks to this Parachute, will be able to get it done. And we'll have to think then, too, this is an opportunity to kind of think about what Choppa can do in that game, too.
There, the Trick Room goes away, but I don't think it matters. He can just protect all he wants now. Just click Protect over and over again. That's all you need to do, really.
But it is an interesting question on what can be done because, again, there is that offense ways for Wolf to be able to kind of break through. We got to see this Polytoad doing quite a lot of work. And it looked at a team that couldn't be quite as broken as easily.
Goodness me! So like, if even if we
really
like,
is just back to that drawing
should we hold on? Should we like fast forward this right now?
I know.
If we go like super speeds. So we see the Protect come out there. We see the Protect come out. The Rage Fist comes through. But essentially, there's not really much more that can happen here, except to just slowly wait to die from patterrz song. Which is just it's a nice way to play the game. It's just to guarantee a victory. You just click a move, guarantee a victory. It just feels good, doesn't it? I think we're going for the Diaclaw here. It's not doing much damage. The Weather Ball's coming out. I mean, honestly, maybe doesn't even need the patterrz song. As we can see, the Weather Ball comes out. Didn't even need the patterrz. Oh, wait, never mind. It's still alive. But, I mean, it has 1 more turn left. And there's 4 Pokemon that Wolfey still has available to him. I just don't know. Unless the Sneasler, like, pulls out a Glock and shoots the Pokeballs at Wolfey's belt to kill the Pokemon inside. I just don't know how the Sneasler can really do anything here. Oh, my God. I thought the game crashed for a second. Maybe the Sneasler has some kind of Nurgle-esque disease that they can spread onto the other team. But, yeah. Unfortunately, that is just that's a wrap for game number 1, and that was a good game number 1 too. So it showed some good command of everything that was going on the field. Choppa, again, Choppa, very good player, very fantastic player. And now we go into game number 2 as we see the Kingdra and the Gothitelle. Not bad.
And a Gothitelle. So a lot of pressures from
Chopper's
both
getting
ends
intel, but I mean, how much intel can you really get on open team sheets? Because I'm assuming that there's open team sheets, which I think there is, which means that you can see everything that your opponent already has. It's not really much intel apart from maybe like the EVs of the Pokemon, how much damage you're doing to Pokemon. Because I don't think they're shown on open team sheets.
Kings are very dangerous, but thankfully Choppa does have the Annihilate on the field, which means he can swap out possibly into that Indeedee.
Damage numbers is all you can really get.
Give Sneasler the special defense boost and allow it to outspeed a Kingdra in the rain. With a combination of those things, plus maybe
let's see if
like
Choppa can play around it this time.
From that Sneasler, you could maybe threaten damage right off the bat, but it's still really tricky, right? You have the taunt that's available. If Annihilate can stay on the field and not get knocked out by this Kingdra.
Yeah, at least this is the situation too, where if you want to be going for the Trick Room, you are forced to, well, keep the board how it is.
Oh, the Terrestrialization turn one from Choppa. Hold on, is it going to be the Sneasler again?
Weighted enough a boost, and it would be then relying on
it is the Sneasler again. Wow.
Which we all know how that works. Terrestrialization right away in the match, though, into the Sneasler. We've gotten to see in previous matches how much that's like.
Is this going to go for the throat choke?
Pokemon. So right away, going to be
Diaclaw again?
Diaclaw into the Kingdra.
It's a lot of damage. Ooh, gets the para. That could be huge. That could be huge.
Not only you're going to be slower, there's an opportunity you cannot act on this turn. And
he's a turn one Terry. Vinny would be proud. And the taunt is huge too. That's a massive taunt.
Trick Room off the table.
And Kingdra's not moved because paralyzed. Okay, this is a different ball game now. This is an entirely different game.
Break through. What a turn for Choppa.
And the Trick Room was selected by Wolf, so absolutely zero.
Yeah, that's a great turn for Choppa. Playing very, very well around the Trick Room.
Choppa after what was a rough turn one in that first game, but now he is in such a strong position. This Gothitelle can only Psychic, and obviously because the Sneasler is a Dark type,
and he can Psychic against the Infinite,
but being paralyzed means that one hit
is it going to
do
much?
Or the Sneasler will be able to knock it out, and Annihilate is still at full HP, so the threat of Final Gambit doing a huge chunk of damage to either the Kingdra or the Gothitelle in one.
The Muddy Water could be huge.
Still very much
the accuracy drop on Muddy Water would be so funny if you guys that.
You've done what you needed to do. You've made sure this Trick Room is offline, and if you can get a KO, I don't think you need to stick around for much longer. You've done all you need to.
All right, so the Gothitelle runs like a baby, runs away.
Come back in for that
the Incineroar comes back out. But can he Incineroar do much here? It's going to get the Intimidate off, which is actually huge against two physical attackers.
For Annihilate instead, that's just...
Oh, wait, never mind. Defiant. I forgot about that. Oopsie. Whoopsie-daisy.
Going to be boosting the damage from Defiant.
Defiant damage is boosted. Direclaw here comes through, and
Kingdra lives
thanks to that Intimidate.
Oh wait, it's going to get its Muddy Water off, actually. Hold on.
Despite this Defiant boost, because it has not
doesn't do anything
yet at all.
Muddy Water comes through. That could be big.
This time, not being followed on the last turn.
Oh, the accuracy drop. Uh-oh. Oh, the double accuracy drop.
Uh-oh. So Annihilate.
Oh, no, wait. It's even higher in attack now. Sound the alarms. It is +4 attack.
If it does connect a move, it is going to do a lot of damage. It's just the if you're going to connect. Kingdra, that's going to be the self-KO.
Kingdra said, with my last message, please dodge the moves now that... Oh, fuck, is that a +4 Annihilate? Yeah, no, I'm dead. Whoops. Oh, sorry, guys.
From that life or recoil at the end, but a free opportunity for Gothitelle to come back in, and this gets a little weird now.
It does, especially with those two accuracy drops. I think Sneasler can pretty reasonably swap itself out now. You don't need this Unburden boost for the rest of the game.
Oh wait, the Trick Room again? Trying again?
But of course you can't, because the Gothitelle is right there. It does have
not going for the
fake
fake out
as well. Wolf
never mind, they both have fake out.
Two fake outs live, but because one of
+3? Oh, it's +3. It's +3.
A ghost type. You're almost definitely not going to be using both of them. And now you have to deal with this Annihilate as well. It's going to be a +3 attack, but -1 accuracy. So if it does try to go for something like a close combat or a rage,
he could miss though.
Might have to be pretty careful.
And with Gothitelle,
bro's got some mud in his eyes, needs a bath.
Swapped out at the field and now back in. If it wants to, it can try and go for the Trick Room this go around. Sneasler flinch, stopped in its tracks. It's going to be
Annihilate misses the rage face.
Misses Gothitelle avoids the attack.
No!
The Psychic now into that Annihilate.
Oh, that's huge.
Not enough for the KO though.
Oh, but it doesn't kill.
Not enough. That is a huge miss from the Annihilate there, even though it's only...
I mean, what do you do now? Do you protect knockoff into the Annihilate?
Up once at that point, the +3 attack Rage Fist probably would have been enough to knock out that Gothitelle. But because Annihilate survived, it's now at a 150 base power Rage Fist, which will be able to KO Gothitelle at +3, unless it opts to Terrestrialize into a Dark type. But at the same time, Choppa still remains with 4 Pokemon on the field, and against a team like Wolf,
protects knockoff.
That's what that is a huge.
I'm sorry, is that not what I said, chat? I say you protect knockoff into the lane. I don't know. I might be making some world champ plays. I don't know. Maybe you're making some world champ plays out here.
And eyeing this up. I mean, you do have this option to try
that
and
is
take
what
down
I said to do.
with this Incineroar to make sure that this Gothitelle does stay safe, considering this could be such a key piece.
Now watch
in
this be a
match
huge turn.
to protect. Now the close
Look at that.
combat into
Fuck.
Incineroar. We've seen that.
All right, never mind. Sorry. I'd like to retract my previous statement. Never mind.
Pat, I just
Yo.
pulled a gold Mew card.
Nice.
Sending you luck for future packs.
And the new Pocket TCG set? Sick. Hey, well, nice. I'd like to admit that my play potentially wasn't that awesome, but
That
it's
would be
okay. In this situation, it is the best thing that you can do, really. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, maybe he just expected the Incineroar to die. Because the Sneasler is just there. So what's the Sneasler going to do? The Sneasler's going to kill something, obviously. I mean, he could have terrestrialized Ghost on the Incineroar potentially, but maybe he wants to keep his Terra in the back for later.
super effective hit
It is
still gonna break
-1
through.
too.
Incineroar
That's true.
goes down.
Big KO there for Choppa.
Wasn't a crit
Now
either.
there are
That's
only
crazy.
2 Pokemon left on Wolf's side of the field. So patterrz Thong is pretty much off the table for the rest of the game. Because the Gothitelle protected as well, no Trick Room goes up, and Choppa will maintain this speed advantage. Politoed is coming in, but you still have to worry about this +3 Annihilate with those 2 Rage Fist stacks, and I don't think either of these Pokemon can take a Rage Fist.
And we're not going to see a Politoed singing along this game.
It's not
that is
looking
for
good
sure.
today.
With Wolf being the
It's
one
not looking
down
good
to
in this
2
one.
Pokemon, you have to try and make it through the rest of Choppa's team with full force. The 2 Pokemon on the field have taken so much damage, but they're so fast.
Come on,
and they're
Gothitelle,
so
you can do
powerful.
it.
Of course, both of them with these accuracy drops.
Of course, yeah, this accuracy drops could come back into play. We already saw the one Rage Fist miss, but close combat did connect. Thankfully for Choppa, though, even if these 2 Pokemon start missing some of their attacks, he will have whatever is
The
left in the
terrestrialization
back
comes through.
if he needs them. But
Onto
I don't
the
even know if that's
Gothitelle.
going to be necessary.
Yeah, and that might be information that you get to keep all for yourself going into a Game 3. If he can just take the game right here, right now, as Gothitelle in the closing moments of this match, Terra Dark.
The Sneasler Dire Claw comes through. Is there an effect coming through? No effect.
Taunt.
Taunts? You can... What? You can... I'm sorry. Did he taunt a wall? How does this work? Was he... What was he looking at? Was he like, hey, come on! Aw, wait, that's a freaking door! What the hell?
The business of missing today. This Annihilate doesn't want to connect anything. Now
Wait, hold on. The Politoed's come through for a kill, though.
Sneasler, already such low health, is going to
Taunt does work on dog types. You just missed it.
KO in the match. And without this
World
Gothitelle
champ
being
difference.
hit, being able to avoid the wrath of this Annihilate once again, will be able to go for this Psychic.
I mean, it's a
And we saw the
2v2 now.
Hellstars
Wait,
on
hold on.
Choppa's
It's not over
Pokemon.
yet.
He's gonna have
It's
to
not
reveal
over
the
yet.
final 2.
It will be down to 2v2. I really do like the selection of Taunt from Choppa on that turn. We knew that Wolf had terrestrialization on the
The
table,
game
and
is
this
still the
Gothitelle
game.
could turn from a Ghost Weak Pokemon to a Ghost Resistant Pokemon, and going for Taunt there means that Trick Room doesn't go up. You don't have the option to protect, to stall out what could possibly be a patterrz Thong coming. But unfortunately, the Taunt missing means that Gothitelle
Tyranitar
still
the
has all its tools
arrogant.
available to
Ooh,
it. Tyranitar
that's
will
tough.
be one of Choppa's 2 final Pokemon.
Oh,
and
that's
it's
really... He's going to set up the sand now and get rid of the rain. That's... Oh,
joined by the
that's
Indeedee.
tough.
All right, Indeedee, definitely something that can put a lot of pressure on to this Politoed. But now when
He's
you're
gonna
eyeing
need the
up on
patterrz
Indeedee
song,
on the
right?
other end, that is going to be a
How does he
task
win
for
here?
the
I think he
Tyranitar.
needs the patterrz
And
song.
This situation,
Yeah, he
too,
does, right?
I mean, if
Am I
you're eyeing
crazy?
up, we're at 2 apiece, so this is where we can maybe see that patterrz song come back.
Because I don't think he can take him
because
out.
if patterrz Song does happen, that means that at the end of those 3 turns, the player who loses both their Pokemon first, and essentially it comes down to speed, will be the
Oh
one
my
that
God.
loses. And we've seen the Politoed and the Gothitelle be slower than Choppa's Tyranitar, and of course slower than this Choice Scarf Indeedee. So if Wolf does have the chance to go for a patterrz Song and can somehow find a way to stall out those remaining 3 turns, he can win this game, but I do think Choppa might have the offense to break through.
Yeah, I
considering
mean, he
we are
literally just
looking
needs to
at a
survive.
Psychic Surge, Indeedee,
I don't know, that's
expanding
gonna be a
force.
tough
This is
one.
some big damage. With the Choice Scarf instead, though, it's not going to be quite as powerful as some of the other Indeedees out there. So we're going to have to see how much into this. Trick
Can he get it?
instead,
Oh, the
though,
Trick
is going
waits.
to be making sure that this is locked in.
I really like that
Uh-oh.
trick. It means that even if Politoed
Oh,
does
no,
have
Choice
the ability
Scarf.
to get the patterrz Song off on this turn,
Oh my
it will
God.
not be able to protect to stall it out. Patterrz
Oh,
Song with that
no,
Choice
that
Scarf
was
will be
really
acting
smart.
first now, and the countdown has begun. This game will
This is
take no more
Wolfey's
than 3 more
POV right now.
turns.
Yeah, we might be headed into a Game 3 or just ending this off, as the Politoed is going to be brought down
3
finally to
turns?
a
That might be
third
really tough
of
to
its
survive that
health.
long.
And this is where you can get that confirmation with these speed tiers. Watching this Sandstorm
Dude, if he gets a double protect, oh my God.
and
oh
where
my
this
God.
damage is being done.
Oh
And
my
at
God.
this
He can still
point,
win.
Yeah, this Politoed's going fast.
It's going fast, and it's just going to keep singing. Whether or
The
not
Polytoad
that
is
song
choice scarfed
effective
into
doesn't
patterrz
really
song.
matter much. So now, if you're Cheppa, you know that you just need
But
to
you can
KO
still
this
win.
Gothitelle
Oh
and
my
you will
God.
win the game. You do have the option to go for that Terra Blast from the Indeedee because you did use Trick. Another nice benefit.
He just has to go for the double protect. He has to.
Is that you are not locked into any certain moves, and you don't have to keep using Expanding Force, for example.
Oh no,
into this
dude.
Dark
Oh
type
no.
Gothitelle.
If he gets the
Predator
triple,
does have the
quadruple
option
protect.
to go for a low kick, which could be super effective, but also a Rock Slide could be some decent damage and prevent a possible Trick Room, which could also win the game for Wolf.
There's
that's
no
gonna be
way,
the
right?
weird
There's no way
thing
he gets
with
the double
speed
protect.
dimensions,
It's a
'cause
coin flip.
Gothitelle currently the slowest. If that is gone, well, then this Polytoad is no longer.
No.
The attempt at the double
No, he
protect
doesn't. He
will
does not
fail.
get it.
So Cheppa will have the opportunity to hit into this Pokemon on this turn. The question is how much damage
Terra
will
Blast?
be done. Indeed,
He has to. Yeah, he has to kill it.
Terra Blast, which isn't necessarily the most.
Low damage,
and
the low
Tyranitar
kick.
Super
Oh!
effective, but not effective enough.
It
Oh,
looks
the
like
Citrus
Wolf
Berry's
is gonna
coming
need
through
a double
too.
protect to try and win this game. There's not enough turns of sand to knock it out before
He has to
this
kill the
Parasong
Polytoad too, though.
activates. And because he went for
He
the
has 2
protect and
turns.
failed it this turn, it means that this coming turn, protect is guaranteed to work. And then the
See-
Perish count
oh
will fall
no. Okay, I was gonna
to
kill the
1.
Polytoad this
and
turn.
And then if you get a double protect afterwards, we are seeing again, Gothitelle is the slowest thing on the field because
Oh
it's
my God,
taking
wait, this
the
is
sand
intense.
damage last.
Oh god, this is really intense because if he's guaranteed to get a protect this turn, so he's gonna target into the Polytoad. Oh dude, what if he doesn't protect? No, he did protect. I was gonna say, what if he saves the protect for next turn, assuming that everyone's gonna attack into the Polytoad, but no, he
It's the
didn't
only
do
way you
that.
can win this, because Wolf, I'm sure, knows that is his win condition. The only way you can win is
Wolfie
with
just
this
needs to keep this
Parasong, and you need
Gothitelle
to make
alive
sure
for 2 more
that your
turns.
Gothitelle sticks around, because Polytoad
Oh,
will
expanding
faint
force.
first.
No, he's
All
immune. He's
right,
immune.
and knowing that there's the protect on this turn, be hit in just expanding force, get rid of the Polytoad, so we don't even have to think about that Pokemon later on. Just
needs to get double protect.
2v1. But again, what it's going to come down to, does he get the double protect?
That is actually
it's a
really
coin
smart expanding
flip!
force as
Oh,
well.
no, it's a
that
coin
kind of
flip.
eliminates the chance that Wolf has to set up a Trick Room and make Polytoad the slowest thing on the field again.
Can he do it?
So you can possibly eliminate some kind of way Wolf can weasel his way back into a win here. But now this is it.
If this is
the
the
game
last
will come
turn,
down to this
it just
Gothitelle. Will it?
yeah, it's a Perish Card Force one. It's literally just a coin flip. Can the Gothitelle get the double protect? It's heads or
Out of
tails.
your
It's just
hands
heads or
at this
tails.
point.
Can he do
You
it?
Click the button.
Hold on, can he do it? Can he do it? Can he do it?
Start praying to the Pokegods.
Come on.
that You're going to finally
If
hit
he
it.
does this, he
and
wins.
We've gotten to see throughout the last
If he gets it, he
double
wins.
protect did fail, but
Oh
we've
my
seen
God.
so many times on broadcast that
There's
1
nothing else that can be done.
and 3
Just needs to protect.
come on through. Again, this is for Wolf Click to make it onto the finals. Another opportunity
Wait, is it 50%
to try and
chance?
take another title for Cheppa. Put us
Wait,
into a
here it
game
comes,
3. He
here
can
it
break
comes.
through. Gothitelle
No.
goes
He
for the
doesn't
protect.
get the
It's not gonna
protect.
get it, though.
It looked.
Fails.
Oh
And now
man.
both
Oh dude, that was so close. Wait, it's a 1 in 3 chance. Oh wait, I thought it was a 50. I thought it was a coin flip to get the double protect, and then it's like a 1 in 3 chance to get a triple protect. Is it not? Am I wrong on that? I might be wrong on that. But it looks like we're going to a game 3, baby. Okay, so you get a 1 in 3 chance, and then I think it's like a 10% chance to get a triple protect, which is like very low, obviously. All right, game number 3. Here we
in
go.
top 4, and we're going to see a run back of last game. Annihilate
Never mind,
Sneasler
it
for
is.
Cheppa, King
It's a 1 in 3 chance to get the double protect. But I mean, you have to chance it though, don't you? You have to chance
for
it.
Wolf. Last time, Sneasler, Direclaw, Kingdra, and
Wolfie overrated. I mean, you're crazy. Like, straight up going off of statistics, like, he is one of the best, if not the best Pokemon player, like, of all time, straight up. And that's like, you can't deny it. Ash just straight up wins. Let's just look at the leaderboards, man. Straight up, just look at the leaderboards. Also, he's very funny.
I don't know if you can count on it again, but I don't know that you necessarily need it right off the bat. The paralysis mattered a little bit less than the full paralysis that immediately followed. You know, no damage came out from that Kingdra, but if you're able to get an attack off with the Annihilate on this turn, that might be just what you need. I do really like this lead again from Cheppa. I think that it's just the most flexible
This is the best lead for Cheppa because he's got that taunt, he's got the terrestrialization with Direclaw.
Immediately go for that Terra Dark, make sure that Gothitelle cannot damage it, and you have the Annihilate there to threaten either Final Gambit or
He
Taunt.
didn't
Both of which would be
Terra.
rough.
Or did he? Wait.
it's a threat, but that's about it as Annihilate leaves the field and Indeedee coming on out. So if you do see a fake out instead from the Gothitelle, it's going to be stopped in its tracks.
Oh, dude, if he psychics into Sneasler now,
The
oh my
Psychic
god.
Surge
Oh my
as well,
god.
making sure the Annihilate stays nice and safe. This is as well, you know, this Sneasler, that's going to be the special defense raise here. Now we're going to get Terrestrialization.
Oh, he did
of the
Terrestrialize.
match.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
see where it gets
I was going to say, he didn't
to go.
terrestrialize?
This
That'd be
is such a
insane.
pivotal turn number 1, and it's yet again going to be that Sneasler, making sure at no point you're going to get caught off guard with a Psychic from that Gothitelle.
I think that's just really safe from Chuppa. It allows him to kind of ignore the Gothitelle with the Sneasler if he needs to.
Okay, we have the Kingdra Protect here.
Caught off guard by a Psychic, because if one Psychic move comes that way, again, it's not the focus
double
action,
protect.
it's the
Okay, just to see what's
Psychic
going to happen
seed
here.
set. And
That's kind of smart because you get to scout out if the terrestrialization is going to happen here or not, or like what the position on the board is going to be.
even though you have the special defense boost, that surely will not save you, especially setting up a Psychic terrain.
All right, looking at this is just a protect, but you get the terrestrialization out from Chuppa, and now you've gotten to swap into DDs on the field.
Drop a
And
Draco,
these
do
two
it.
are going to be the ones that are stuck. So Wolf,
Do
a
it, I
lot
dare
of
you.
information now going into this.
Yeah, it's nice though, because that double protect, it's really hard to punish. I do like that Chuppa swapped the Ndidi in there.
The Muddy
because
Water
now you
is
have an extra
genuinely
threat of
like
damage
such a
coming
good
out
addition
from
to
the
this.
possible
The
expanding
load
force.
accuracy
But
was
you
so
have
good.
put yourself in a position where you no longer can switch your Pokemon out. This is exactly
Especially
how
when you
game
pair it
one,
with the rain boost, too.
started, essentially, right? You had the Ndidi Sneasler out on the field against this Kingdra Gothitelle, and that was a game that Wolf won pretty cleanly. So you have to wonder if Chuppa has some kind of alternate plan than what we saw in game 1 to try and spin this board
Oh,
state in a
firing
more
off the
favorable
Trick Room
way.
here. This could be huge.
That's the question, because if you are thinking that your Annihilate is just too pressured and it's such a key piece, it could be the swap out, or you're just a man with a plan at this point. Kingdra swapping out.
There goes the
Intimidate back in,
Incineroar. This
and
intimidates.
try and pressure with some moves later on, but again,
Oh,
no fake out
the
options.
predict?
That's going to be the close
Oh
combo
my
for the
God.
swap, and Incineroar
Oh,
already
huge
brought down
plays
to
from
a
Chuppa.
dangerously low amount of health. If it is a follow-up with something that was like,
Oh my God, and
hey,
the trick
maybe Terra Blast
too.
could have been dangerous, but instead, that is going to be the trick. And now
The Incineroar has a choice scarf now.
Very
It can't
fast
fake
cat.
out.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh no! Oh, it's such a good play. You get rid of the choice scarf just as the Trick Room goes up, so you can make another Pokemon slower under the Trick Room. Oh, it's so
different Pokemon
smart.
could have been
See, that's what I'm
smart.
saying. Like Choppa's a great
But I
player.
think it's going to be Incineroar that takes this item to the grave, and Gothitelle, that's going to be a free Trick Room on this turn.
That is
Yeah,
a really
I mean, the
nice
parting
trick,
shot's huge
especially
there.
with Trick Room going up. The Incineroar no longer having access, to the safety goggles isn't a huge deal. It means it will take some sand chip damage if Tyranitar does come
And that's
in.
gonna be
but more
slow as
importantly,
anything.
Ndidi ditches that choice scarf. And based on how they're trained, I think it's still possible that Incineroar acts before Ndidi in Trick Room. Despite Incineroar having the choice scarf, which makes it faster, aka slower in Trick Room. I think an Incineroar on a team like Wolves is probably trained to be pretty slow, and that gap may be too big to overcome with a choice scarf. So if you're Chuppa, you really want your Ndidi to act first and possibly knock out Incineroar with a Terra Blast. But that close combat also a
That
huge
took a
read
while
there,
to
too.
decide there as well.
Psychic will be the first on
That's
the turn.
not doing
Gothitelle the
any
slowest,
damage.
And Ndini's going to not really mind the hit too.
And the parting shot. Ooh, it's a good thing they didn't swap into Annihilate there, because that would have went crazy. I just realized that, yeah, Sneasler can't swap because of Shadow Tag on the
much.
Gothitelle.
His parting-
Dude, there's way too many things in VGC in like 2 versus 2 to remember. Like, you just remember, of course the Gothitelle has Shadow Tag. That's Gothitelle's main thing, is that it has Shadow Tag. That's what Gothitelle does. It does Shadow Tag, and it does Trick Room. But then there's 3 other Pokemon on the field and 2 Pokemon in the back for both players. Keeping track of this is a nightmare.
Shot from
This is
Incineroar
it's
is gonna
absolute
just get it
nightmare.
out of there. So no matter what's hitting into that slot,
I'm not big-brained
there's not
enough
gonna
for
be
this.
An Incineroar that's fainted this go around. An opportunity, you could either bring the Kingdra back in, which might not appreciate a hit, or the Politoed now that you are in this Trick Room situation, which is what we're gonna see.
Importantly, that Incineroar acting again before
Now I guess
this
the rain back is going to get really wet in the arena. Maybe the Sneasler will slip on the wet
in Trick
floor.
Room means that Parting Shot does come off, but Politoed might have to eat some big damage here. Expanding Force coming through from Ndidi, boosted by that terrain, does just under half to the Politoed, and Dire Claw comes through as well.
Any status, not gonna be lucky that go around. Politoed, it is quite injured, but you are gonna be in your ideal situation now with the Trick Room. And of course, there is just the option to go for, well, another Protect.
Yeah. The nice part about this Sneasler being the Terra Dark, being the Psychic Seed, means that even though it has been intimidated,
Didn't he swap Annihilate? Yeah, you can swap Annihilate because Annihilate is a ghost type. So you can swap out a ghost type.
twice, or intimidated once and then parting shotted, and it's at -2 attack, it's really not going to be taking too much damage from anything on Wolf's side of the field, especially this Gothitelle, of course. It only has that one psychic move, but Incineroar, again, only running knockoff as a damaging move, and Politoed on a team as bulky as this one, probably not trained super strong in special attack either.
This is gonna
And
do
the
damage.
Gothitelle,
That's
we
not gonna
saw
do.
how-
Is he like? I don't. He's not waiting for the switch because there's not much switching happening. I think he just wants damage on the
a
Indeedee
little
to
it
kill
was
it
doing
eventually.
last time around. Also not necessarily the most trained.
Because the Indeedee is like quite slow now, isn't it? I wonder what the Politoed
Only a
speed is
little
like.
bit of damage into this Indeedee, though it is stacking up as another expanding force is coming on out. We can even talk about how little this Indeedee is just kind of doing in general, because I mean,
my God,
we get to
Diaclor
see
again.
normally a lot of choice back
Is it gonna do anything? Oh, there's the poison. God, Diaclor is such a dick move.
doing a lot, but the point
Like it's not a dick move to use it. It's just like it is just a dick. The people that made it were dicks. It just does a random status effect sometimes. It could be sleep, it could be poison, it could be paralysis. I don't know what's gonna happen. If you get paralysis while you're in the trick room, you're kind of happy because then you go slower. But if you get the poison and you're just like a little really close to dying, then you just die. But then if you get put to sleep, then no one likes getting put to sleep. That's pretty bad. So that sucks.
That is something that can start chipping away at this Gothitelle just a little bit more. And when you're looking at a Pokemon, you kind of want to stick around. And Wolf, who wants these Pokemon to stick around, he needs to for the Perish mode of this team. That hurts just a little bit.
I even think Poison might be like the best possible case for Chuppa there against a team like this one, where a lot of the times if you're using Dire Claw for a status activation, you might want the sleep or the paralysis for the chance at the Pokemon not acting anymore. But on Gothitelle acting doesn't really matter as long as it's out on the field, and the poison limits its time it has left on the field, especially now that its Citrus Berry has been consumed. There is no more recovery for this Gothitelle, and as soon as
That's right. The commentators are making some very good points. They're pretty smart. They should commentate Pokemon.
Gothitelle goes down, Shadow Tag is gone. You can switch out of any possible, Perish Song locks there because Shadow Tag has been deactivated, and so I really like that Dire Claw play.
Oh, honestly, this is a really good position for Chuppa to be in right now. Chuppa's very happy
Even
in
though
this
you
position.
have the same type attack.
The Wolfie right now is on the back foot.
Terra boosted throat chop there.
I
On the Sneasler.
think.
It's not going to be doing too much damage thanks to that Intimidate and Parting Shot. So really smart Dire Claw selection that paid off.
Yeah, and like, if you can just get Chuppa down to the final two, then you don't even need that Shadow Tag. But so far, the damage output necessarily hasn't been in Wolf's favor, with Kingdra being the one that can do the most and being hidden in the back, and also not necessarily
the
wanting to
Incineroar
come out
comes
of
out
this
again.
situation since the dimensions are
Does he predict that? If he sees into the Incineroar?
twisted. Intimidate Sneasler
Close
is going to be
combat?
limited
Maybe?
just a little bit more as a third round of Psychic into the Indeedee. One more will probably pick
That Indeedee's got to
up.
die eventually,
now
right?
Gets to do an Expanding Force back. Incineroar, though, of course, not going to mind that immune.
Immune to the Expanding Force, but Sneasler will attack here.
Oh, the Dire Claw to
comes through and
kill.
knocks out Incineroar.
Yeah, Incineroar goes down. So,
So Chuppa
it's
finally
a tough
takes the
position to
first
be in.
KO of Game 3 here in top 4. And this is looking like a really strong position for Chuppa. Wolf doesn't really have the resources left to go for a Perish Song endgame. The Psychic Train is ending, and Trick Room, I believe, only has one more turn left. After that, Gothitelle is going to be very weak, probably not able to set up another Trick Room. And of course, once Gothitelle goes down as well, that's just Wolf down to 2 Pokemon. So if Chuppa has Tyranitar in the back, he can remove the Rain for the rest of the game and get rid of Kingdra's Speed Boost and Power Boost.
Yeah,
This
that's
is where
tough.
we need to see the offensive capabilities of the team come out now as Kingdra, of course, out onto the field. Of course, it is going to be a Pokemon that is a little speedy, in which case, since we are still in Trick Room, the slowest thing, but we need to start seeing Pokemon on Chuppa's end whittled away, because the Gothitelle only has a couple of turns left, maybe just one if Chuppa targets into it right now, and then it would just be this.
It's not looking good
Kingdra
for Wolfie.
Politoed
How's he going to
try
get
and close up
his
this
way
match
out of
for
this?
Wolf.
Because the Sneasler does have the Unburden boost, it will be acting after Kingdra in Trick Room anyway. so
Oh,
it makes sense
the
that Chuppa would have to
protect.
protect it on this turn. But this Indeedee,
Huge.
if it survives
Oh, yeah, that was really
Psychic,
smart. That
we'll
was
get
really
the
smart to
chance
protect.
fire off one more attack.
Indeed, dude, Indeedee's been sitting there just like getting absolutely dunked on for a
It
while
barely
now.
is knocked out, so a swing of good fortune there for Wolf, but is it too late?
That's going to be the question. Reminder, this Annihilate swapped out on the very first turn and has been safe in the back. And we're getting to the position now where Chuppa, with that Sneasler,
There's still
even
the
it has taken
Tyranitar
a
on
lot
the
of
back there
damage,
too.
still a
The
threat.
Gothitelle's almost
Annihilate
dead.
coming on in will, of course, be a threat. And of
The
course,
Trick
Chuppa
Room's
still has
gone.
a fourth Pokemon that has not been revealed in this match. The last couple of different games, it has been that Tyranitar.
It's looking
I
tough.
think it needs to be that Tyranitar again, especially if Wolf is able to let the rain run out and then reset it up for this Kingdra. The Tyranitar will be able to, set up the sand with that Sandstream ability and power down this Kingdra. But fortunately, again for Chuppa, this Sneasler does have the Unburden boost. Its speed has been doubled, which means it will still be acting before this Kingdra in the rain. And Gothitelle being so low, one more
what do we
attack
see?
will be
What do we
able to knock
see? What do
it
we
out
see
unless you
happen
swap
here?
it
We're gonna
out.
see the
If you
Annihilate
swap-
come back out. Okay, so the Annihilate comes out here, and we got the Gothitelle about to die. We got the Kingdra looking pretty good here. Stellar Terrassalization on the Kingdra is crazy, but we have the Sneasler at like minus. Is that -3? special attack, sorry, I think is at -3. The Politoed's looking low. There's still an extra Pokemon in the back for Chopper as well that could get rid of could be Tyranitar, could get rid of the sand too. It's not looking so hot.
To try and make this happen.
I think it is still possible though. Kingdra is very strong, and we keep seeing the Sneasler stat summaries flashed on the screen by Wolf there. It is at -3 attack. So we'll have a
-3, it's
hard
not going to be
time
doing much
doing
damage
meaningful
anymore.
especially to this Kingdra that sits at full
Oh,
HP.
the withdraw on the Gothitelle with that 5 health points and is poisoned. That's a big play.
You still
That's a
have
huge
the
play.
possibility of crits. You still have the possibility of those dire claws.
Is it gonna work, though?
Onto the field means that Gothitelle
The
won't go down as this
terrestrialization.
one, as this is where we're going to see the
We're going Stella, folks.
from the Kingdra now, and a lot of damage into. I mean, if you can just get rid of this Annihilate, like you're such a nice spot.
It is. It is.
I love how Stella Terrestrialization always has the
Gonna be
Terapagos
really
on the top as
important.
well. It's just really
I think
cute.
this Annihilate will pretty easily be knocked out by this Weather Ball. Dire Claw comes through though. Will we get
Doesn't
any
do
kind
much
of status
damage.
activation? No. Weather
The
Ball
Weather Ball's gonna
happens. It will
clap a
target
kill.
this Annihilate.
And that is going to
Chopper isn't switching. Chopper didn't switch because he was trapped with Shadow Tag until like literally just that
be the
second.
Stellar Boost. That is going to be as
That's gonna kill, right?
fun, and the Annihilate is going to be taken down. So
My
now-
God! I mean, I know we're in the rain. I know you get like the Stella boost. I know it's a strong move, stab boost too, but my
Two
days.
Pokemon for Choppa in this match. The Kingdra being able to do just enough on that final turn of rain.
And
Oh
importantly,
my God!
because
Okay.
Wolf did
I
swap-
think what's gonna happen here is the Tyrannosaurus might come in to set up the sand. He's gonna swap out the Politoed for the Gothitelle that's basically dying in the back. Protect the Kingdra. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna protect the Kingdra while the Gothitelle dies because it's guaranteed to die because of the poison. Yeah, he's gonna switch out. Then the Politoed can come back in, take away the sand, set up the rain, allow Kingdra and Politoed to Weather Ball, which will then win him the game. Am I
has
right?
not been allowed to swap out of the match at any single point, and the only time the Gothitel's left the field is when Choppa's already down final 2. So again, you're going to be playing for the dire causes, and you're going to be playing for those critical hits. Is Kingdra safe on this turn? Dire Claw targeting into that, of course. Seeing the Gothitelle, how little health it has, and the fact that, hey, even the Tyrannosaurus targeting into it, it would have been KO'd from that poison anyways, but it was going to go down regardless. And now, of course, Wolf gets the weather of his
It looks like we might be on track.
choice.
This is going to have to come down to Dire Claw for Choppa. You know, even if this Kingdra doesn't get knocked out by Dire Claw, especially because, again, it's at -3
There is no
attack.
Trick Room, though,
If
so
a
this could be
sleep
bad.
happens or a paralysis into a full paralysis happens, and this Kingdra isn't able to get a Weather Ball off into this Tyranitar, that is the way
Oh, dude, if he loses to
that
Diaclaw,
Choppa
oh my
can win
God.
here.
Oh my
Just
God,
the paralysis, I don't think will be enough because Tyranitar will still be outsped. You need that no attack coming out from Kingdra this turn.
The sleep would secure it. The paralysis gives you a chance, and poison, no good. And Sneasler, that has been the pinnacle Pokemon of this regulation. So much based
If
around it.
Diaclaw gets
and
a
so
sleep
much
or a
discourse about this
paralysis
move.
into
And now
paralysis,
the
it'd be
only
crazy.
saving grace for Choppa in the closing moments of this match here in top 4. And this Kingdra, if it can act
What
on
is
this
it gonna
turn,
be?
it
Is it
can
gonna
do
get the
so
crit?
much. Diaclaw
Doesn't get the
comes out.
crit.
This is going to be the moment.
Doesn't get a
status.
status.
Comes on through.
Weather Ball
now
comes
into
through.
the
Bam!
Tyranitar.
It's dead!
One hit KO.
Even with the Assault Vest, it's still
And
dead.
only one Pokemon remains in
Wow.
way to secure him in our finals.
No status at all means that even though this Weather Ball might not KO Sneasler here, the Kingdra
I mean, it
will
might,
easily
honestly.
be able to finish it off on
No,
the
it doesn't.
following
Okay,
turn.
never mind.
And Politoed itself can just Weather Ball once again.
All right, GG's. That is...
So it looks like Wolf
Yeah, that is going to be game because all the Kingdra needs to do now is use its little swift swim ability to go super duper fast. Well, actually, it will still, I mean, that's it. That's GG's. That is, that was the semifinals.
Finals, and one step closer to a
And
historic.
now we progress to the finals. We got Marco Silva versus Wolfey in the finals. Let's see what Marco's team is looking like, shall we? Got an Ursuline team with, Jumpluff and Torkoal goes hard. And Charizard? Wait, I kind of dig this team. Hold on. Wait, I love this team. This is such a sick team. Jumpluff, Torkoal, and Charizard is such a cool combo.
No.
I love that. Okay.
Of course,
And we
Marco
got
does have two-
do we have Sun versus Rain? Rain Perish versus Sun?
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
that's sick. All right, let's see
It must-
how it
For
all
Marco,
begins.
for Wolf,
We have the
that's-
Jumpluff and the Incineroar leading versus the Gothitelle and the Kingdra. We have the opposite perspective this time. Wolfie is on the other side. We got Marco's perspective here.
Gothitelle and Kingdra.
I really love this Gothitelle Kingdra lead from Wolf in general. It's a very flexible lead. lead. It traps these two Pokemon on the field.
This is the same guy that said Wolfie can't perish. Wait, no, it's not the same guy. I'm just getting word from the chat who mightn't be wrong. Marco Fierro and Marco Silva. This is, oh no, this is the same guy from this clip?
Ha senso. Ok, trovato subito l'avversario, attenzione. Wolfey!
This is the same
Wolfey
guy.
con patterrz.
This is the Wolfie con patterrz guy? But the Wolfie con patterrz guy is facing Wolfie in the finals?
Most importantly, it gives Wolf the option to pivot that Gothitelle out into Politoed.
It's the same guy they already met on Saturday.
Activate Swift Swim and power up those water-type moves from the Kingdra. I'd like to jump.
He faced Wolfie earlier in the day or on day one. The graphic literally says Wolfie con patterrz.
Plus here as well. The cover cloak means it can't be faked out by
my
Gothitelle,
god!
And you do have running sleep patterns if you need to.
It's the same fucking
And
guy?
when you're eyeing up something like
Oh
this
my
speed
god,
control,
this is cinema.
seeing that there is this Kingdra on the other end.
Wait, this is
he
actual
could have been
cinema.
punished with the potential
I
of
can't
something like this
believe that the universe made this happen.
room, but instead the swap out. That's Gothitelle leaving Incineroar coming on in as Tailwind.
The only thing that can make this better is if Wolfie wins via Perish
Marco's
now.
going to have the spin favor in his turn for the
Wait, I'm confused. Did he actually predict that Wolfie had Perish? So essentially, this person, this was him streaming, I assume, like before the events. This is a week before the event. This is way before the event happens. This is way before the regionals happens. And he goes up against someone called Wolfie. I don't know if it was actually Wolfie himself or was it someone called Wolfie that had this team. Like this exact team is the team that Wolfie then brought to this event. And this person here is the person that got to the Masters finals to play against the same team. Oh my god, that is actually insane.
Now
I cannot believe it.
Into that Kingdra, a little bit of damage, life orb gone. This is going to be reducing the amount of damage as Draco Meteor into the jump bluff brings it down to just below half health. And with that special attack drop, the Kingdra is not going to be doing the most.
All right,
on
the tailwind
next
goes
turn.
up, folks.
Big knockoff there. Some decent damage into Kingdra, but importantly, removing the life orb, which is a big source of damage. That's one multiplier lost when you start stacking them with the rain.
That moveset is crazy. Sunny Day, Tailwind,
With the
Rage
possible
Powder,
Stellar Terra. So
and
that's
Sleep
a lot of
Powder.
damage that also kept this jump off relatively healthy. I don't know if one more
He must have heard a leak. No, dude, he played against him. He played against the same team. Like a week before the event. Look at that. It says Wolfie. It says Wolfie right there. That's the exact team that Wolfie brought. And now he's playing against
Draco
it.
Meteor.
Yeah, to be fair, he already has experience against this
would
team.
finish the job, and of course no water type move would knock it out from here as well. But this Incineroar switch from Wolf also very, very safe. You know, it can't be put to sleep because of that, because of the safety goggles. You now have the option to go for your own fake out on this coming turn, and of course,
If anything, you're happy about the situation because he played against it before, so you know what's
you can
going to
just
happen,
pivot
right?
back out with parting shot.
Even if one Pokemon is safe from the Sleep Powder, the other is not, and Kingdra doesn't do the most damage and now won't do any damage as it has to take a turn of sleep. Parting shot into the Incineroar. That's going to be attack drop as well as a way to pivot out into something that could take a little bit more advantage of his situation and a chance and opportunity for us to see what Marco has brought to this match. Ursaluna and Porygon 2.
You better hope there's no knockoff
I just can't believe the storyline behind this. This is
coming into
ridiculous.
that slot though, because losing that Flame Orb would be very, very rough for Marco. That is a big bit of damage that would no longer be available.
Kingdra is Sleepy Ghost Night
from that Sleep Powder and knockoff.
Knockoff into the Ursaluna. No
Straight into
Flame Orb.
Ursaluna. There is no Flame Orb. There is no
That is actually huge. Ursaluna's Flame Orb boosts its power by so much, so knocking it off is
burn. There
massive.
is no guts for the remainder of this game.
Oh my god, I love Pokemon VGC lore. VGC lore is so
And
fun.
that hurts. Getting the damage, but most importantly in that knockoff. And when you need the damage, Marco's team, when you're eyeing up this Jump Bluff and Incineroar, the Porygon 2, it's the Ursaluna that you're really counting.
And bear in mind, chat, this is the finals of regionals. Whoever wins this battle wins the whole shebang, the whole event.
And in this situation, if you were able to get that swapped in that burn, you could pressure so much damage with something like an Earthquake on the next, especially since you wouldn't be hitting into your own Jump Bluff, and you would hit everything else on the field. Now that damage is so heavily reduced.
Not even just losing the Guts boost, Facade will now be locked at the 70 base power for the rest of this game too. If Wolf has something that can, you know, Terastallize into, maybe something that resists or is even just neutral to ground, Facade is usually the move of choice after that, but it will be mitigated for the rest of this game.
and that could be a situation where you're then forced into
Porygon
something
2
that's
comes
a
out,
single
folks.
target. And doubly so
We see
now
the download
Porygon
raising the
2
attack
comes
there.
out onto the field, getting that attack boost.
And the terrestrialization come
We got
through
to see
from
the
Wolfey, I
lock-in.
think.
Make sure that this Ursaluna
Nope, never mind,
is
it's from the
nice
Ursaluna.
and safe going into that Ghost Terrestrialization.
Ghost
Terrestrialization,
no longer weak to
interesting.
water, which could be a big deal for Marco later on in this game.
So he's not weak to the
switching
Kingdra anymore?
anything out, though, means that Kingdra will stay on the field and
Ooh,
possibly even
and we see the
terrestrialize,
terrestrialization
so
from
I bet
Wolfey
this
as
is the
well in
Incineroar
this one.
instead.
Even if this Ursaluna isn't doing as much damage, it could still do a lot when you see this headlong rush. So into this Ghost Terrestrialization, a way to make sure, again, less and less damage is coming on out. Into this Incineroar.
Oh, the headlong rush speed
Wow.
lives because of the
So much
terrestrialization.
damage, but not nearly enough to get that KO. Of course, a defense.
By the way, he's a 3-time international champion. Marco is a 3-time international champion. So this is a really Marco and Wolfey are like operating on levels that we can't even like imagine. Like none of us watching this stream right now is like nearly as good as them, unless like I don't know. Unless Ray Rizzo is watching the stream right now.
Special defense drop, and Kingdra
who's a 3-time world's champion, if you
is
didn't know.
going to wake up. Draco Meteor yet again connected. It is -2 into
That
the
does
Porygon.
no
That's going to be
damage.
fine, but still, you would have loved to see that sleeping for just a little bit
And the
longer.
parting shot,
Incineroar
Wolfey
surviving that headlong rush.
bringing the
Thanks to
Incineroar
Ghost
out.
Terrestrialization means it will have the opportunity to parting shot this Ursaluna, further mitigating its damage while it is on the field. And even though you could bring in Gothitelle to activate the Shadow Tag, this is another reason why this Ghost Terra is very helpful for Marco, is that now that Ursaluna is a Ghost type, you do have the option to
Tailwind has one more turn, but you can always
swap
throw
it
out
out,
that Trick Room.
reset that parting shot drop, and you have to kind of imagine that Kingdra probably swaps out this turn because it is at -4, and the Incineroar
Yeah.
is right there for another Intimidate onto the Ursaluna, which could be another reason to get this Ursaluna off the field ASAP.
Yeah, especially too when you do have that Gothitelle, something like bringing in the Incineroar is just so free. You get another attack drop onto that Ursaluna. You're not really worried about too much damage.
Oh,
And
I'm
Kingdra
so
can
locked
get
in. This
back
is such a
in
good
at later
battle.
time. It'd be so good.
I love a
And when I'm looking at
storyline.
the pieces of Marco's team, if Wolf can start damaging these down, we have Pokemon when you're eyeing up.
It's two diametrically opposed ideas going to battle at the same time. It's a battle of ideals. It's a battle of incredible proportions, because you got the Tailwind versus the Trick Room, the fast versus the slow. We got the sun versus the rain.
That Porygon 2, that like that longevity on the field, and of course, that's not a playstyle that Wolf's going to allow you to do.
It's really not. You still have to be very careful here. Kingdra will swap out to reset that -4 special attack.
Yeah,
We're gonna see
Kingdra's
the
gotta get out of
Politoed come
there.
in instead, so no
It's way
Incineroar
too
just
weak.
yet. We'll be there to set up the rain with Drizzle as the Gothitelle has the chance to go for
The headlong rush goes into the Politoed. Ouch!
No
He
pick out just
says,
yet.
taking less than half damage.
Instead, we're going to see another move of choice, this headlong rush. Not even enough to bring the Oregon.
How dare you, says
sorry,
Gothitelle as it
the
fires
Politoed,
off a Psychic into the
other
Ursaluna, doing
one
quite a bit
down
of
below
damage,
half,
actually.
As that's going to be Psychic into Ursaluna, doing more and more damage since we
The Porygon 2 says, actually, let's be really fast now. And Porygon 2's, it's Trick Room all over the place.
the Ursaluna lowering its stats through these turns. Now Porygon 2 is going to be the one twisting these dimensions.
Trick Room setups.
Which is interesting because usually the Gothitelle will be doing that. I mean, I guess it is a very advantageous scenario with the Ursaluna being on the
Ursaluna
field.
should be the first thing acting, which is, you know, a nice twist for Wolf here, for Marco here rather.
And there goes
especially
the
because
Tailwind.
The Tailwind has just ended on Marco's side of the field. But if you are Wolf, you're now noticing that there is no Torkoal on Marco's side, so Rain will stick around for a little bit longer. Gothitelle, being the bulky Pokemon that it is, has the ability to try and reset Trick Room this turn if it wants to.
Yeah, you could turn off the Trick Room if you wanted to. Marco's Ursaluna should be faster than Gothitelle
Or
and
even just go for a
Politoed.
second Psychic into that Ursaluna. Now at -3 special defense because of the 2 headlong rushes and the drop from the Psychic on the previous turn is vulnerable.
There's the Protect, though.
With it being
Kinda wasting a turn of its own Trick Room.
Protect makes sense. Or Psychic yet again, trying to fire off into that slot, get rid of that big bad bear. Nothing happening. Now the Porygon 2 will have the opportunity to
The Terra Blast is really good, though.
into this
Not terrestrializing with Terra Blast is just generally, like, it's still good with Porygon 2 because you still get the stab boost and it's 80 base power and it's special, so it's generally, like, pretty solid.
Politoed, just an
And if you terrestrialize while the Porygon has an attack boost from download, it will turn into a physical attack instead because the physical attack will be higher than special attack at that point.
another attempt at just chipping away.
Ooh, the
as
Paris
Paris
song!
the move
Wow!
Of choice. Of course, since the
Fun!
Ursaluna has terrestrialized, it will be able to have this opportunity to swap out. But the
Porygon 2 can't swap,
won't.
but Ursaluna
Interesting
can
choice there
because it's a
from
ghost
Wolf.
type now.
Ursaluna will have the ability
Wolfey
to swap
can't
out like
perish.
Sid Sierra,
No!
which means that the Paris Song won't be very effective on it. But this Porygon 2 Ryu is locked on the field. And given that this Ursaluna is at -1 attack,
I like
this
that
Porygon
play.
2 did not get a download Steve's special attack, but instead got the attack boost instead. This Gothitelle isn't super threatened by anything, and this could be a
Marco's
good way
having
for Wolf to get
flashbacks
rid of
now.
just this Porygon, really. If you can get rid of Porygon with this Perish Song, that's the bulkiest thing that Marco has left on his team, and that can clear out an easier way for Kingdra to try and come in and win this game in the end.
And if this Ursaluna has to swap out at some point, this Incineroar would not appreciate a Weather Ball.
Yeah.
And
Marco's super heavily reliant on the Ursaluna doing damage, though, so getting the Flame Orb removal is so massive.
won't really appreciate much at this point, considering the amount of damage that it's already taken. So Ursaluna, that's finally going to be the swap out.
Switch
But
now
if
to reset
Wolf
the
decides
stats.
Not to just protect and hits into the other slot, Marco could still be down on this. It is going to be just a swap
But
from
Politoed
both trainers
withdrawal.
as Jumpluff hits the field, Politoed leaves, make sure that Perish gets reset, and Incineroar for Wolf
Into
to
the
have Fake Out on the next
Incineroar.
turn.
Okay.
Fake Out will now be
Fake Out's
active.
huge here,
Intimidate
though.
comes through, meaning absolutely nothing into these two. Well, one special attacker and one no attacker. Psychic will be into
Sacking
this
off,
Jumpluff,
maybe?
though, and it
Oh, it
barely hangs
lives!
on,
The
which
Fake Out
means
can kill it
that Wolf
now.
will not have a Pokemon advantage just yet. And Terrablast quickly targeting that Gothitelle as the Ghost-type Incineroar that would have come in or would have taken 0 damage.
Yeah, and this damage output from this Porygon too is
I wonder,
not,
can he
like,
just fake out into
maybe
the jump
something
bluff
that
and protect the
stacks up,
Gothitelle that turn?
Maybe try and fish for a freeze or something, but Jumpluff, especially with the speed ordering that you've caused yourself with your own Trick Room, isn't something that's necessarily benefiting that Pokemon. And once this Ursaluna goes down, it already wasn't dealing the most damage, but then where is the damage really coming from? Sorry, the Ursaluna. Porygon 2. The Porygon 2 is probably the only thing that really does damage. Is this
Oh,
Ursaluna
fakes out to the
doesn't get that
Porygon
Guts
instead of the
boost.
Jumpluff.
Exactly.
And then the Rage
All right,
Powder comes
Rage
through.
Powder
Interesting.
From this Jumpluff, so it is going to be the center of attention. Sliver of
Yeah,
health.
there you go. Okay,
Porygon
6.
2
So now
is
the
gonna
Porygon
have
2 is
a
going to die
little
next
bit more
turn, I think.
Opportunity to try and fight this battle is finally that second Psychic is going to be enough. Porygon 2, I mean, it doesn't even get to do anything because
Yeah,
of the
super
flinch,
smart.
So yeah, we're just going to see a very sad Porygon.
And now Gothitelle can switch out. Porygon 2 should just
after
die.
this next turn, since it has one more turn of Perish left.
I really liked that Rage Powder play. If you caught it before the turn started, Marco actually targeted his own Jumpluff with Ice Beam as well, which is really cool. It's a nice way to make sure that Jumpluff goes down so you do get the swap into your Incineroar on this turn without having to manually swap it back in. Of course, you couldn't even manually swap it
Wait, he
because of that
targeted
Shadow
his
Tag.
own
So
Jumpluff
it
with Ice Beam?
guarantees
That's
that this
insane.
Jumpluff isn't stuck on the field being in, like an entirely sink of momentum that makes Marco have something to do on this turn. Porygon will faint at the end of this turn thanks to that Perish Song, which will open up the opportunity for Wolf to have that kind of 4 Pokemon to 2 remaining, checkmate with another Perish Song from Politoed.
Okay, the Protect
And
comes
now
through.
we're
Is he
gonna have
swapping?
Protect from Incineroar
didn't
for
swap.
Wolf. As the one over on the other end hits the field.
Wow,
Another round
he
of
didn't
Psychic,
swap.
of course, into this
I guess
Porygon
he's just trying to protect the Pokemon in the back because they're more important at this
2.
point.
Is it damage that won't necessarily matter?
He's gonna
so
let
it's
it die
gonna
to
be
the
gone
Perish Song.
anyways, and Gothitelle finally brought right below half, which means it gets a Citrus Berry, and it gets to go kind of back where that turn started.
Yeah, but it will actually be knocked out by a Perish Song at the end of this turn as well. I
So the
believe it was on
Porygon 2
field
now
subject to
dies,
that Perish-
and all he has to do now is get the Porygon or the Politoed in and use Perish Song again, and then just stall.
Song when
And then
Politoed went for
that
it. And now the
that'll be
Perish
it. Also, he gets to
count
set the
falls
rain
to
back
0,
up with
so
all the rain
Gothitelle
turns again
and
as well.
Porygon 2 will be knocked out. But I think that's a very worthwhile trade if you're a Wolf. You no longer need Shadow Tag because Marco only has 2 Pokemon remaining. Your Gothitelle, it's going to be hard to switch it in and out without giving your other Pokemon too much damage.
Oh, no,
now
no,
that especially
no.
that Trick Room has ended.
And he can pretty much guarantee to get the Perish Song off because the Politoed is going to outspeed the Ursaluna
You can
at
bring
least.
Kingdra in here, you can swap the Incineroar to Politoed, and you have some pretty devastating Muddy Waters on the table.
Yeah,
Oh, never mind,
you
you just
don't
go to
even
Kingdra.
have
Never mind.
for any sort of Perish Song to try and
Stupid
close
idiot,
this
Dano,
out. That
stupid
mid-game
moron.
Perish Song is going to be enough to possibly just get this done now that Kingdra's out on the field, and the Ursaluna's not doing much. Incineroar won't appreciate this, and Wolf in a really, really strong
I mean, you
spot
can just muddy
already.
water.
Especially because this Kingdra doesn't have that Life Orb anymore. Really doesn't need it for the power. One
Oh,
Weather
now
Ball
he
should be able to
swaps?
knock out Ursaluna from this
For the
low
fake
HP.
out, maybe?
And because it is missing that item, the knockoff from Marco's own Incineroar will not have the damage boost. So you can probably even ignore that Incineroar this turn. Make sure that
The Weather
Ursaluna
Ball
doesn't get
comes
a tap
through,
out
no
here and go straight
Terrestrialization
for that
because
Weather
the
Ball.
Incineroar
And
did.
already so
Ursaluna's
low health.
gone.
Like you said, you don't need that
Oh,
Life
and it's
Orb.
looking like that is a wrap on this round because all the Kingdra needs to do is fire off a little Weather Ball. I mean, you just get the double Weather Ball here. It's got the Swift Swim. It's going to outspeed pretty much regardless. He's running from the battle. That is game number 1. to Wolfey. There we go. Game number 1. Nice. All right, getting into game number 2.
And Charizard
Let's get it. We're starting with Kingdra, Incineroar, and Incineroar Jump Bluff. Okay.
So kicking off our game number 2, we're going to see an Incineroar piece for our competitors. And Jump Bluff, yet again, a reappearance. And Kingdra, again, for Wolf.
Lots of Intimidate's been fired around here.
Incineroar first. I think that makes sense, given that, you know, on a lot of patterrz song teams, you kind of want your Pokemon to be slower, especially when you can take advantage of trick.
Just go for the sunny day. Just click. I mean, I know. Wait, no. Click the sleep powder. Just send everything to sleep. You gave everything a nap. It's nap time.
So it's probably safe to assume that Marco's Incineroar is just trained to be faster, which means that you do have the option to fake out first. You could possibly go for a fake out into your own, into the opposing Incineroar, rather. But we did see the Ghost Terra on Incineroar put in so much work for Wolf in that first game, and it might be something that he opts to use in the second game as well.
Yeah, so it makes sense to look at something like this Kingdra that is still really threatening on this turn. For Marco, you can see there's the decision, do I Sunny Day, do I Tailwind? Because all of a sudden, if Wolf does decide to swap out that Incineroar, bring this Politoed in and attack with this
Protect on the Kingdra!
I believe that Wolf will win. Marco. Don't you think so?
Listen, he's the world champ for a reason, you know?
Kingdra's going to be safe, so Marco will be able to go ahead and set up this Tailwind and get the
Tailwind comes
in
through.
his favor. Now Wolf will have an Incineroar able to act, and where it's going to target, that'll be the knockoff.
The knockoff goes into Jump Bluff, knocking off the Covert Cloak.
Jump Bluff.
I really like the knockoff there too, because the damage is nice, but removing the Covert Cloak is really big. That was preventing Wolf from going for fake outs into that Jump Bluff in that first game. But now that the Covert Cloak is gone, fake out is on the table.
And now he can fake out as much as he wants, really.
Or the Incineroar on Wolf's side of the field now.
Sleep powder into the Kingdra. It's nap time, everybody. It's nap time.
Kingdra's having a bad game so far. Going to be sleeping. And when we're talking about Pokemon getting things knocked off,
and then there goes the, what is it? Safety goggles as well.
Eliminated.
Oh, so he can sleep out of that next turn too. No, it's gonna be nap time for everyone.
Into that Incineroar as well.
Just kidding. He's running away.
Sleep powder safe for down the
Bench
line.
time, guys.
And a new target coming on into the field.
2 very convenient knockoffs in a row. First to enable fake out, and now to enable sleep powder into that slot. One of the strengths of the Incineroar on Wolf's side of the field is that it was very easily able to switch into this combination of Jump Bluff.
All right, these Pokemon are now trapped. These Pokemon are now trapped. They cannot switch out. That Gothitelle has locked them down. Kingdra, unfortunately, is still asleep, though. I mean, wait, does Pong Shot still work? Pong Shot still works on Shadow Tag, right? I'd imagine
so. Don't worry about Sleep Powder coming through from Jump Bluff. And if you're Marco, that can be a way to find some space in this matchup to, you know, start getting some damage out and not let Wolf
he Pong Shot his own
I'm
Pokemon?
just looking at the and then what
That's
coming
crazy.
out for Marco in this situation, too, because the Kingdra's sleeping, but it can't be waking up at any time. That's going to be a parting shot into own Jump Bluff to secure a promised switch out for the Incineroar in face of the fact it wouldn't be able to switch out before thanks to that Shadow Tag.
In parting shotting yourself makes a lot of sense there, because it guarantees that, you know, even if Wolf, you know, happens to get a double protect off on this turn, you are able to swap out, and you don't care about lowering your Jump Bluff.
Oh, it's in case of Protect. He parting shot in case of Protect. Oh,
because it doesn't have
wait, these people are so freaking smart, man.
Attacking moves.
Here is another 2. Time to enjoy this stream more.
Thanks, Spider Sonic. I appreciate that.
In here without taking any damage.
And now the Ursaluna gets the guaranteed Flame Orb. Wow.
Activates. So we finally
that was really smart.
The Guts Ursaluna. And now
he can Sleep Powder it too.
These very strong Earthquakes that threaten damage into everything on Wolf's side of the field are on the table.
And this is where we can finally see this Pokemon be able to do some damage with the Ursaluna.
And the Tailwind is still up too.
Little change that
why don't you switch out? Because you can't, because Shadow Tag had locked the Incineroar in, but you could Parting Shot. But if the opponent got a Protect or a Double Protect and you Parting Shot into the protected Pokemon, it doesn't work. To guarantee, the only way for him to guarantee that he could switch out that turn was to Parting Shot into his own Jump Bluff, which doesn't matter because it doesn't use any offensive stats. It only has support moves. So that was a really smart thing to do. Really smart.
On his team in comparison to other ways that these Jump Bluffs are ran can be made. We do have the Sunny Day. So if you are thinking...
Like I said, these people, they're operating on another level. They have a higher understanding that I just don't have.
Then maybe Wolf is going to try and switch that Gothitelle out into the Politoed. Since Kingdra does have a chance to wake up on this turn, you can just Sunny Day reset that and just go for a big attack.
And now Earthquake goes crazy because of the Guts boost too.
Eyeing it up. We'll have to see, of course,
Stab boost, Guts boost.
Wake up.
But he can switch because he is the one that holds the Shadow Tag.
Now, Gothitelle is switching out. Politoed is going to join the field.
Uh-oh.
So it looks like Marco might have made the right call because, of course, Politoed is going to bring this rain. But the Jump Bluff right after this terrestrialization moment. Let's hold on a second. We'll get to see
terrestrialization. Yeah, we've seen this animation before. before. We've seen this animation before. We know what it's all about. Sunny Day goes up.
Ursaluna will attack next. Unless it's trained to be very, very slow, but no,
Here comes
Earthquake
the
comes
Earthquake.
out.
Now this is gonna hurt. When can we get Wolfey to do a Then We Fight video? It's funny because I think he actually said that on stream once. He was like, oh, we should do a video together. And he's like, oh, wait, randomizers probably shouldn't do that. Which is fair. I don't think that Wolfey or anyone that's like super into like the competitive, like the official competitive side would ever do like a randomized video or thing like that, because they want to keep on the good side of the Pokemon Company, and the Pokemon Company does not like it when you do randomizers. They don't like it when you do videos like I do, because they don't want you to modify the game in any kind of way. Which is sure. I mean, I guess that it's kind of sad because people really like it, and it doesn't harm the game at all to do a randomizer. It doesn't harm the game at all. There are a lot of companies that really support that kind of thing. There's a lot of companies that support modding, like Bethesda really supports modding on their games. Larian supports modding on their games. Creative Assembly supports modding on their games. They love it when you do that kind of thing, and they support creators that do that. Pokemon isn't the same, which is fine. You know, I'm not gonna like be really upset and cry and, you know, throw a little hissy fit about it, but I get it. It's one of the reasons why I don't do, I haven't been like sponsored by the Pokemon Company. They don't send me the things that they send to other YouTubers just because I do like randomizers, which I totally understand. And I've made my peace with it. I'm not going to stop doing them because that's the videos that I like to make.
I would hope not when you're having it next to it.
Yeah.
Tailwind. Marco knows what he's doing.
Oh, that's a lot of
Will wake
damage.
up, taking a lot of damage, but
The Weather Ball, fire Weather
course,
Ball
this is
though. The Sunny Day to make the Weather Ball fire because the Politoed switched in is such a smart play.
going to be a different type of weather ball now with that sun hitting into the Ursaluna.
Marco
Good
is
amount of
playing
damage, but
crazy
that's
right
not
now.
the damage that we would have liked to see if the weather was still the rain. And now you're still going to have the advantage of the speed onto this next turn.
A really nice turn from Marco there, knowing that Politoed very likely swaps in for that Gothitelle to activate both the...
He predicted the switch in from the Politoed, so he uses the Sunny Day that goes up and negates the rain, turns off the rain, that then makes it into fire so your Ursaluna can live, and also so your opponent doesn't have access to the Swift Swim. Oh my god.
Swift Swim and the damage boost from the water typing and the Weather Ball. And even though that Weather Ball still
now
does
he can
huge chunk of
Tailwind again.
damage, again, it is still boosted by the Stellar Terra, so nice reason for that Stellar Terra to be on the team here. Kingdra didn't do nearly enough to this Ursaluna, and Politoed is on the field with the sun up. So this is probably the most ideal situation you could ever hope for if you're Marco here. This Politoed cannot hit the field on this coming turn to reset the rain because you have to swap it out first.
Yeah, and even if there is a switch went around with that Tailwind just leaving, Marco can go ahead and reset
Marco definitely
it
has
up
the advantage right now.
in a situation where this Ursaluna is still going to be able to attack. So it's just
Double
gonna be a
switch.
double
Ooh.
switch on out
Earthquake's
from
gonna
Wolf. So
do
both
dummy
of these
damage here.
are going to be the targets of this Earthquake, though Incineroar will at least try and drop the attack a little bit. But
So he's just going to try and rely completely on the rain to save
still
him
don't
here.
think it's going
it
to
seems.
appreciate what's coming next.
It really won't, especially because Tailwind immediately goes back up, re-establishing the speed boost on Marco's side of the field. And another Earthquake comes through here. Intimidate is active, so maybe not big one-hit KOs here, but still so much damage.
Oh,
The
doesn't
Incineroar
kill.
is just gonna hold on a sliver of health. So Wolf's not
I
going
thought that
to
would
lose
do
either
more.
Pokemon on this swap in, and now has the double fake out pressure. And reminder, first turn of this match, we did see the knockoff into the jump left slot, so it doesn't have the Covert Cloak anymore, and it also doesn't have a way to protect.
It can't protect,
Yeah, so you can't
unless
get fake out
it
now.
out. You could pretty easily go straight for more Sunny Days. You don't need the Tailwind boost anymore because you've already set that up. Sleep Powder doesn't necessarily buy you a whole lot, but if you do Sunny Day again, that would prevent Wolf's Politoed from coming in and getting rid of that sun, which could
That's
be a
right.
big deal. Also, I guess Sleep Powder too. Maybe you could Sleep Powder either of these Pokemon because, again, that safety goggles was knocked off, and then try and buy some more time. You do have the Ghost Terrestrialization in play with Ursaluna as
Fake
well.
out from
but no, straight for the
Incineroar.
Fake out.
Yeah, so that's going to be
Sleep Powder
Ursaluna
comes out
that's
and it
active.
misses!
Jump left that's not much better off is going to be a Sleep Powder miss.
And the Trick Room goes up.
Marco
That's
has the speed,
huge.
and that is going to be to his detriment, as all of his speedy Pokemon are going to be oh so slow. Ursaluna at this point now, sure, that's a burn that you needed to get through this match and deal the damage, but it's a burn that you don't have much attacking time left.
You really don't, especially now because this Ursaluna will be knocked out to 2 more turns of burn. You're tempted to maybe try and protect it to make sure it doesn't take any damage on this turn from either Incineroar or Gothitelle. But if you do, you only have 1 more turn left, and given that we've talked about Wolf's team having 6 protects, you can kind of guarantee that Ursaluna doesn't attack again unless it's on this turn.
Yeah, and even you just have the speed on your favor, so you don't even have to play the I'm just going to wait you out game if you want to. You can just go for the straight, hey, I'm going to take some KOs games. So yeah, Incineroar will be protecting on this
Survive
one.
on
You
the
still have to be
Incineroar
worrying
that
about the
protects.
threat of this
Incineroar
jump
says
up
no
and
damage
the
from me.
sleep powder.
Double
So
protects.
We'll play the slow
Stole a
and steady
ton of
game instead.
tailwinds?
Both the
Okay.
Pokemon are gonna go ahead.
He double protected after the Trick Room went up,
And
actually.
protect.
Okay.
You have to wonder if the Trick Room actually helps Wolf that much going forward. Like, you do get to mitigate that Tailwind, but after these two Pokemon on Wolf's side of the field go down, you have the Politoed and the Kingdra left, and you don't necessarily want Trick Room up for that Kingdra. So you might think,
Yeah, the
is
Kingdra's
Wolf
going to be
gonna
on
try
the
and
Swift
reset
Swim if
Trick
the
Room on
Politoed
this
and the
coming
Kingdra come in at the
turn,
same
knowing
time.
that Ursaluna will be knocked out, Tailwind will be running out soon, and you.
But he has,
these Pokemon
yeah, the
can
Ursaluna
switch
has
out.
one more turn left
And
before it dies.
this is where, for the jump left, you're also just pinned into just having to click for this Rage Powder to make sure that this Ursaluna does have an opportunity to attack. And jump left does still have a good amount of health. And even looking at the fact
Rage
that
Powder
Incineroar
again.
or Wolf doesn't have Flare Blitz, it would most likely have to be this double up. Knockoff will be the first. A critical
Yeah, that's gonna
hit,
kill it.
but it's not going to be enough.
So it's going to be a
Just like
2v2
it is gonna be
situation,
forced
but the Trick Room is up, so Kingdra's kind of like in a bad
target into
situation
this.
now.
Jump left goes down. Ursaluna, one more attack for the road before a 2 is going to be KO'd in this match. And
Wait, is he gonna get the double
Earthquake
KO?
hits Everything.
No, no, it's not. No, it's not.
And Gothitelle will hold
Gothitelle hangs around. Ooh, wait, that could be
on
big,
just
actually.
a little longer.
Ursaluna will be knocked out by the burn, though, so the Pokemon count is now 3-2 in Wolf's favor. This is exactly
Wait, Wolfie can't perish. Wolfie can't perish.
the kind of situation where Wolf can potentially bring in Politoed and go straight for what could be a game-ending Perish Song.
Wait, it's not. Oh, yeah, the Ursaluna's dead
Sunlight
now.
does
Okay.
fade, and I do
Wolfie
believe
can't
Tailwind
perish.
is still
Oh,
active.
no.
So that means that since Trick Room is up, Wolf will have the speed advantage.
Yeah, and that is exactly.
Nope, it just ended.
It just ended.
There it is.
When we're still looking
Oh,
at features
no.
of Pokemon, we will see Porygon 2 in the back, but there you said it, Politoed. That'll be one that is hitting
It is a weakened
the
Politoed.
field.
The
Though
thing
it
is,
does have
can it get
Incineroar
up
to
the
contend
Perish
with on
Song?
the other
'Cause,
end.
well, Trick Room's off.
This is really tough, but this is a situation where the Porygon 2 is probably not going to be knocked out by a combination of attacks in the next few turns, but if you're not getting rid of
And
this
the Drizzle is
Politoed,
there.
you can just get Perish Songs.
The Kingdra's in the back.
If you ignore the Gothitelle, then Kingdra might even come in and start threatening some strong attacks here, so it's really tough position to be in if you're Marco, because I think if you get a single turn wrong, if you let Perish Song go up, if you give Kingdra a free swap to start firing off some strong water-type attacks in the rain, this game can be over really fast.
And that's the tricky situation. This is such a tough matchup for Marco, and it's been proven so even more up against an opponent like Wolf. So 2 healthy Pokemon, but
Are we gonna
definitely
see it
not
happen?
in the greatest of situations.
Is the
And
Perish
if you're
Song going to
looking at a
happen here?
reversal, I
Is we
mean,
going to see it?
you have to
Oh,
call
the
this
reversal of the
right.
Trick
Let's
Room,
be
though.
enough.
Could be huge.
I don't know.
Fake out.
It just depends on what
Fake
you
out
do
to
with this
Politoed, maybe?
Incineroar as well. You can fake out either of these two Pokemon.
There's a Protect on the Gothitelle.
opts to not allow that to happen, going straight for the Protect instead.
When you're eyeing
Double
up the fake
protect.
out on the other end,
Just to make sure that he doesn't get
and
faked
the
out.
2
Huge.
Pokemon that are on a third of their health, the protects just
He's
makes
gonna
so
reverse
much
the Trick
sense,
Room here, though.
especially since it seems like the time is more so on your side. Now, no fake out, no hits coming
this is
out
still
from
close,
this
actually. I don't know who's
Porygon
gonna win this
2,
one.
But it does give a passive turn to reverse the speed orders.
The scary thing too now is that this Incineroar just used Fake Out in front of a Politoed with Encore. So if you don't know that your Incineroar
That's true. The Politoed can encore
is
it.
faster than Politoed, it could just be locked into Fake Out for the remainder of this game. There's a chance Politoed is slower. I don't know that we've seen that interaction just yet, but because, again, Wolf really wants his Pokemon
The
to be very
Encore into
slow
Perish
for
Song
the
will go
purpose of
crazy.
Perish Song and for Trick Room.
Oh, the
There's a
Translation.
very decent chance Incineroar has just doomed itself to Fake Out for the next few turns.
I don't know, we've seen this Politoed underspeed so much in this match, but it seems like a Trick Room that had to happen to have any opportunity to try and make sure this
Here
Perish
comes the
Song wasn't
Terastallization coming out
gonna
from
be happening.
the...
To be the
Coming out
Ghost
from the Incineroar
Terastallization.
into Ghost
BB is
type.
going to be coming
The
on out.
knockoff goes into the Politoed. Oh! No con perish!
Song for Wolf. No Politoed and 2 Pokemon
No
left.
con perish.
Be advised, we have a Politoed down. I repeat, we have a Politoed down. There will be no Perish Song in this. There will be no Perish Song in this fight.
Thankfully, that Incineroar is faster for Marco.
And that
so a
Porygon
really
2, I don't know how you
important
take it
break
out at that
there.
point.
Terrablast into Gothitelle is not enough for a KO.
I don't think Kingdra's gonna be enough to do it.
Gothitelle does have the chance to Psychic this Porygon for a little bit of damage, but with Kingdra coming in, already having taken so much damage, oh, that special defense drop, though, could be a little bit important.
The Life
Yeah, when we're
Orb.
looking at this,
Oh,
we're looking at this
no.
Kingdra, and we're looking at a Porygon 2 that you
It looks like we're gonna go to a Game 3
this
here.
Kingdra is, now that this Trick Room has been reversed, it does have the Swift Spin, so it's going to be fast, and it does have that Stellar Terastallization too, so something like a Draco Meteor into that Porygon 2, would that be enough after that drop?
It might be enough, but then you just leave this Incineroar alone, and if you do, then it probably just knocks off your Kingdra.
Oh my god, he could win with Muddy Water accuracy drops,
This is actually, I think,
right?
a more strong position for Marco in this scenario, because I don't know that Wolf has the offense left, especially considering this Kingdra, you know, has to go
Great
for these Muddy
accuracy
Waters
drops.
now.
Hold on.
That's a double connect, though, onto this turn. Neither is going to be...
Oh my god, what? What? Why did it do so much?
Both will be hanging on through that. The Kingdra, so much damage with this Muddy Water in the rain. Have to see, I don't think any accuracy drops either. We get the Citrus Berry recovery, and with that,
Okay, that did way more than I thought it was.
will be able to follow up. Knockoff is going to take that Kingdra down. That was so close. That could have been the game-winning,
Why'd that do so much of the Porygon?
winning Muddy Water, but holding on just a sliver of health. Now Terra Blast, the
Hey,
Porygon
GG's,
2,
we're going to a game 3, folks. We're going to a game 3, and game 3 begins the final rounds that will determine who is
with
the winner of the
Weather Mode,
regionals.
Wolf leading that Politoed Kingdra, the tried and true duo from ages past, taking the Intimidate, but who really cares because they're both special attackers. Drizzle goes up, rain is set, and there is no Torkoal in the back, so no sun just yet.
I haven't seen Wolfey use Archiludon yet.
Making sure the weather is set for Wolf. This is dangerous because for Marco,
and I would like
if
to
you
see
want to make sure
Archiludon
this
because it's
Kingdra
Sigmon.
isn't going super duper fast, you either have to go for a fake out into it, in which case the Politoed can try and go for something, or you got to go for a Sunny Day, but you can't do everything. Sleep Powder also has this opportunity to miss.
Yes.
So that is a very dangerous prospect. Kingdra
An
with the protect,
immediate
though, of course, when you
protects?
are looking at this fake out
What is that
pressure on
Politoed
the
gonna
opposing
do?
end, it is something that only the one actually, the Politoed
Smart play.
didn't protect.
No, it didn't. And Encore
Is he gonna Weather Ball
here
into the
could be very
Incineroar?
devastating for Marco if Wolf calls this correctly. Tailwind is set
Wait,
up, which established
if he Weather Balls into this Incineroar now, it's going to be
the
huge.
speed advantage, but what did this Politoed do?
That's going to be the on.
Oh, the Encore into Tailwind, also really smart.
Into this jump left.
I mean, he has to switch
it's
now,
not gonna
right?
Have the opportunity to go for the Sunny Day on the next turn. That
That's
was
actually
the
really
most
smart.
important decision of the first match, and now forced into his swap. And when you're looking at this Kingdra that now has this swift swim,
Yeah, this Incineroar is looking mighty Weather Ballable right now.
and that life orb still intact, there is about to be some devastating damage out on the board.
Despite the tailwind, this Incineroar will not act before Kingdra thanks to Swift Swim, and now you either have to switch in this Ursaluna to a possible Muddy Water, which might just knock it out right off the bat, or switch in your Porygon, which you really need to keep healthy, because that is one of your
He's
most
gonna Terrasilize
important
this
pieces
turn,
on this
Punch Out.
team, just to
Ooh.
have a little bit of both.
That's risky.
You know, maybe reverse some Trick Rooms or set up some Trick Rooms given the scenario.
Never mind,
That
he's
is
not
a
gonna do it.
Really, really good encore from Wolf.
He is gonna do it, never mind.
If the jump off went for either Sunny Day or
Yeah,
Tailwind, that's
Muddy
so much
Water was
momentum
crazy
lost.
here.
So we will have to see the jump left switch out onto this turn, and Porygon too. Again, like you said, that
Is he gonna
Ursaluna after
Terrasilize?
a Muddy Water, that would not be hanging on very well. So we'll have to see that swap as Terrasalization.
I think that's
coming on
the
out before we
Incineroar.
go-
If I'm right, that is the
This could be
Incineroar.
Marco
That is the Incineroar
into
Terrasalizing.
that
So the Kingdra
ghost
isn't
type.
Terrasalizing
Make sure
this
that
turn?
you're going to try and survive this hit at any edger. Now, Weather Ball instead.
Just a Weather Ball.
We're not
Oh,
going
that's
to worry
gonna
about
hurt.
accuracy checks. We're going for
That's
one
gonna
Pokemon
hurt.
and one
Oh, it
Pokemon
lives.
only.
It
but
lives.
not
That's huge.
enough to
That's
pick up
actually
the
huge.
KO.
Huge burst of damage there. Incineroar will be able to eat its Citrus Berry to heal up some of that damage, but it still lost so much HP, and now it is in a space where it really can't swap into moves anymore. Parting Shot coming out will lower the special
Yeah,
attack
it is
of
very
Kingdra,
low.
which helps a
The
little
berry
bit,
is gone.
But at the same time, like, you're not doing any damage this turn.
Absolutely not. At least if you want to be eyeing up something like this jump left, you know.
Honestly, you can perish
you
here.
can go for a weather
Perish song
override.
right now.
And since Politoed is out on the field still, it is
He goes
going
for the
to
Weather
be
Ball
a
and jump
weather
left,
that
okay.
it can't override for a little bit. And Weather Ball
Doesn't do
into the
much.
jump left is not going to necessarily
still a
be
really
the
good turn
most
for Wolfey, though.
effective of cases. So this is still dangerous because when you're still staring down the
Now, the Kingdra is -1 special attack now, but it still has the Life Orb. He didn't knock off into it, he parting shotted, so he still has the Life Orb. So he can still do quite a lot of damage in the rain here, unless the jump left goes for the Sunny Day.
But you had to give up the Terrasalization. You had to
Ooh,
give up so
swapping in
much
the
damage on
Ursaluna?
Incineroar. And you had to bring this jump off back in here, even though Wolf still has the Incineroar in the back, to possibly swap into Sleep Powders.
in this Sleep Powder that is about to come up could be the regional deciding one. At least you're not going
Wait,
to take a hit from
the
the
Kingdra
Kingdra.
swaps?
If you're swapping a Pokemon out and it's going to be a hit from the Kingdra right away, it could be so dangerous. But it's going to be this turn for the Kingdra slot that Intimidate comes onto the field. So that's going to be a safety goggles with it. As
Porygon 2 run away like little baby.
And barring not getting KO'd, the Ursaluna will
Dude,
be
if
able to
he
get the
water-
switch
wa-
in
weather
to get
balls into that
Flame
right
Orb
now.
activation on this turn. As
Oh,
now
we see the
we saw one we've gotten to
Politoed
see
Terrasilize
into that
grass.
tight. So even if it was a sleep powder target there, it would be null and void. Nothing would happen.
I love this.
He predicted the sleep powder into
Vassalization. Sleep powder, it doesn't matter which target the safety.
Wow, look at that. He predicted the sleep powder into the Politoad. So to counteract it goes Terra Grass.
And the Grass Terra.
Does he
will
weather ball
block
into the
it, and
Ursaluna?
Politoad gets to set
Parry
up a
Song!
Parry Song instead. That was a great play by Wolf here, just to force some
that was
shuffling by
sick.
both of these trainers. Of course, there is no Gothitelle out on the field yet, so if Marco wants, he can swap both of these Pokemon out this turn. But in doing so, he would leave.
Be advised, we have a Patterrz song on the field. I repeat, we have a Patterrz song on the field. Be advised.
Incineroar and the Porygon 2 in the back vulnerable to taking a lot of damage right off the bat. And of course, we have the option for Wolf to go for that fake out with Incineroar this turn and prevent any damage coming out here. But I really love that play. Terra Grass means you're resisting those ground type moves as well. And this Jump Bluff really doesn't have a whole lot to do anymore.
I love Jump Bluff being used in VGC.
That is huge.
It just goes to show that no matter what your favorite Pokemon is, then maybe it'll be good and maybe so I'll use it eventually at some point. Except Lumineon. No one likes that one.
Terastallization from Wolf. I haven't seen that Politoad yet. And honestly, such a key play. And even for Marco, if you do want to go for this swap to make sure, like, hey, I need to get these Pokemon out of here before the Gothitelle comes in, what is stopping the Politoad from clicking it again? You know you're not going to get KO'd. You know you're not at risk if you're
Okay, he's going for the Sunny Day. Get rid of the
And even when
rain.
you're
That's
looking
smart.
at what can really hit into you this turn,
Fake out.
not really
Nice.
too much damage, but just fake out.
Sunny
no
Day.
Swaps, Sunny Day.
Sunny Day
Could
comes
see the
out,
Weather
which
Ball
means
here?
that Sun will be up.
Dude, if he predicts that and Weather Ball fires into the Jump Bluff to kill it, I'm going to lose my mind.
For at least the next couple turns, but Fake Out prevents the Ursaluna from going for any attacks.
He did,
Weather Ball
but that
here,
would have
now
been
he's
safe.
Fire type attack thanks to that Sunny Day. Still
That
does a
would have
decent
been
chunk to that
insane.
Ursaluna, but notably does not KO thanks to the water typing being removed here. And now you're kind of in a similar spot where
He is
if
gonna
you
have
leave
to
this
switch at
Ursaluna
some
in
point, too.
on the next turn to get some damage off, that could be a big deal, but then you essentially have to swap it out on the next turn, which could leave yourself open to Wolf, you know, seeing that play.
They're gonna have to
immediately
start doing some
punishing
swaps
it
here.
by, you know, targeting whatever comes in.
Would this be the turn even too for Marco where you're looking at maybe going for this double swap? If Wolf thinks that Marco's going to go for this attack and just double protects his own Pokemon, because that could be that small window of opportunity. But of course, if you get it wrong and Wolf does decide to take down one of your Pokemon on the swap in, you could lose there. So a huge call in this match. But Wolf has been clicking protect so much within this series. So does he double protect here?
It's also an opportunity for Wolf to potentially
Okay,
swap
there we
the
go. He's the
Gothitelle
Jump Off
in
switch out.
if he thinks the Ursaluna will be attacking this turn, and that way you'll lock it on the field for the following turn and make sure it does get knocked out by that Patterrz song. Porygon
I swear,
takes the
Porygon 2's only had attack raises.
field in place of Jump Off.
Oh,
does not swap
Politoad
Gothitelle in, instead opts to
protects.
protect that Politoad.
Politoad is nice and safe and
Double protects. All right, that was a good turn for Marco then.
So no damage coming out onto Wolf's end of the field as this Patterrz Song turns are ticking away.
I mean, the Patterrz Song is coming down. Wolfey might end up like killing his own Pokemon with Patterrz Song here because he's going to have to switch at some point soon. Though Ursaluna is also very close to death here. But the Politoad and the Ursaluna and the Incineroar are both under the Patterrz Song right now. So if any of them are still on the field at the end of this next turn, they're just going to die straight up.
But is this also the opportunity if you wanted to try and
Wolfey made his
and
team for
get
Porygon 2
Wolf
to
on
only get
these
attack
swap-
buffs. That's so smart. Dude, he designed the entire team around Porygon 2 not getting attack buffs. That's insane.
of his own?
That's crazy.
It's a really tough decision to make.
Oh
You know,
my
if you leave your
God.
Ursaluna in, you can possibly punish Wolf switching, but you're guaranteeing that you're losing that Ursaluna, which is a huge source of damage. Just looking at the rest of Marco's team, if Ursaluna goes down,
There
that
it
is the
goes.
single
The switches
Pokemon
start
that can
now.
do the most damage left. Next to Jump Off, which could do 0 damage. Porygon, which is alright, and then Incineroar, which is already taking a lot of damage itself.
I think the Ursaluna is also going to
Gothitelle
switch. Oh my god, is
swapping
every
in,
Pokemon switching this
Porygon
turn?
2 swapping out. So we get to see Jumpluff hit the field once again. And with that Earthquake,
Oh no, the Incineroar
sticking
stayed
around,
on the
so
field.
There will be 2 KOs at the
It's
end
dying.
of this turn.
No, it's
and
Gothitelle.
Gothitelle, a lot of damage. Incineroar doesn't even need to wait for the Patterrz Song to get KO'd. It's going to get KO'd right here, right now.
Oh my
a lot of damage
goodness.
into Gothitelle. If you're losing your main source of damage, then that's damage.
Golly
that
good gracious
actually could be
me, that
really
was a lot of
significant.
It
damage.
could, especially considering that your Porygon
That
and your
right there, that is the power of a Flame Orb Guts Ursaluna. Oh, he's dead now. Well, that was the power of a Flame Orb Guts Ursaluna, which is no longer with us now.
but just looking
But of course, like most of the damage on the team is kind of gone now. Like Ursaluna is the majority of the damage on the team. Incineroar is pretty low and can be KO'd by a lot of things here. And then there's just the Porygon, which I mean is fine, but isn't dishing out a lot of damage. specifically.
I don't believe Tailwind is currently active, and so there's no chance at some kind of, Tailwind Sunny Day play to mitigate
So
that.
that was a big Pokemon to have go down.
Into the field, so we're in a position where, you're very threatened by the idea of a Politoed swap plus a Muddy Water.
And that could be absolutely huge. And the fact that you don't have that speed, at least if one thing is forced to be swapping out, you do have a little bit of advantage with the other Pokemon. And this is getting tough. This has been so intense here for the third match. It's so different in all 3 games.
It really is. The way these trainers have approached these 3 games has differed very heavily. Now we're in a position where both trainers have 3 Pokemon remaining, and it's really hard to call who has the stronger position here. Of course, Marco only has 2 Pokemon that can deal damage, but Wolf, with the Gothitelle, isn't really doing too much damage on its own. Does still have Kingdra, at a pretty healthy state of HP.
There we go. The Incineroar swaps out. The Porygon 2 coming in here.
Incineroar is going to be swapping
again,
out on
it's
this
tough
turn.
for Marco at this point. He can't do a lot of damage.
Yet again, consistent with the attacks and no switch for Wolf.
Ooh,
so
Tailwind could be
about
huge.
having speed control later in. That's going to be at least
Draco into the Porygon.
Draco Meteor in.
Oh, that did a solid chunk, actually. I thought that would do less.
And a special attack that is now dwindled away onto that strong attacking Pokemon.
And the Trick
But
Room.
we're talking about speed advantages. Trick Room
Oh,
is
he
going to
can
put
switch
it
now.
all
He can
in
switch in
Wolf's favor,
Politoed.
though
Bring
Marco
that in.
can try and go for this opportunity to try and reverse it.
Because he has
but-
the Tailwind up, so he's always going to outspeed now. Ooh, that's good for Wolfie.
Because of that, thanks to that Tailwind.
And because the jump up is locked on the field here and does not have Protect, this is a prime opportunity to try and double target it with this Gothitelle and Kingdra's Psychic and Draco Meteor. You did have to take that -2 special attack drop with the first Draco Meteor, so I don't know if it will be enough.
Oh, the
But if you
sleep
can
powder is
secure
so
that
annoying for him,
KO,
though.
Most likely before this Kingdra, before this
He's trying to get rid of that jump
can
up
move,
now.
This could be a game-winning turn.
You need enough
Oh,
damage,
wait.
and you also need to connect.
The
and
Weather Ball
go for
in the
something
sun.
A little bit more accurate. And
You are the
with
architect
sun
of your own
means
demise,
this will be
Jumpluff.
super effective.
You
hit,
did this
and
to
Jumpluff
yourself.
will be taken care of.
You did this to yourself, Jumpluff. You set the sun, and you will die by the sun.
Level 2 Pokemon. Porygon 2 with the Ice Beam into the Kingdra is just not the damage that he needs.
The last turn of Sun there, taking great advantage of that sunny day.
You know what this is
set up
prime
by
and
the
ready
jump
for now,
up.
chat?
He needs to, connect.
This is prime and ready for WolfeyVGC perish.
Super effective Life Orb Weather Ball, and now Wolf has found himself in a Pokemon advantage. The Politoed in the back still in a pretty decently healthy state, especially considering it is that grass type. It is taking super effective damage from Flare Blitz now, but because it sets up the rain when it comes back in, that's a trade I think you're willing to take.
100%. Maybe if Marco had the opportunity,
This is a tough
that
situation for
Jumpluff
Marco
never
now.
went down, you could have maybe found
But
a
he can still
position,
bring it
but
back
now
here.
out of that option.
Because the Politoed, because he has Fly Blitz on his Incineroar, so the Politoed is Terra Grass right now, so it's weak to the Incineroar.
Running out of
Also, he has Ice Beam on the Porygon 2, so Politoed it has a lot of health, but it's also in a precarious position due to being weak to pretty much everything now.
all options in this match. These last 2 Pokemon have taken a lot of damage, and if Wolf can get the
Rain,
Politoed
true.
in
I mean, Rain-
safely,
yeah, Rain would help.
It could be a locked match, but even too, this Porygon's taken a lot of damage, and Incineroar has as well. Fake Out is going to be a little bit of chip into Gothitelle, but Wolf, I think, can play this a little slowly out.
Draco.
Kingdra, that -2, the Draco Meteor
Oh,
into
the level
Incineroar will hold
6.
on with just a little bit. -4 now for the Kingdra, and it's
Dude, I think you swap out the Kingdra at this point, right?
So the Ice Beam
Never
follow-up,
mind.
that'll actually put it in a position where
There
we're
it
not
goes.
even at 2 apiece.
We're even at 2 apiece, but I think this is now a great spot for Wolf to be in because
Do you
the
think he
Tailwind
does
and
it? Do you think he does it, Chad? Does he do it?
Trick Room are both
Is he gonna do the meme? Is he gonna do WolfeyVGC perish?
Incineroar cannot protect itself. You can go straight for the Psychic, and then you could
I don't
encore
think
the
so. I think he
Porygon
just
2 to make
attacks
sure
you.
it doesn't have the chance to recover for the rest of this game. And if he can't recover, those Ice Beams are doing super effective damage to Politoed, but Politoed is so bulky and doesn't have, especially with that leftovers, probably has enough in the tank to stick around for a few turns, fire off a couple more attacks into that Porygon 2, and probably win this game for Wolf.
This has been so close, and
He is close. There goes the Incineroar.
It's so
Incineroar goes down. It's just
Psychic,
Porygon 2 left. He could
Incineroar.
recover
Now it's
here.
just going to be
He
the
could
Porygon
recover
2,
stall.
You called it. It can just be locked down, and it could be the saddest Porygon 2 out there in the world.
And then the
Also,
Weather
it's
Ball
basically
comes
low
through. Is it gonna
health.
kill?
You try and
Is
just
it
do
enough?
A little bit more with that Weather Ball.
It's not enough.
To go. We saw
He
it
goes
was
for the recover.
but this is also where Wolf can get the lockdown in the next turn.
Uh-oh.
It's true. I mean, you're not doing any damage this turn because you're going for for recover. It's a bit of a trade-off here because
Trick
sure,
Room's
your
about to run out.
Polygon's going to stick around another turn or two, but like, do you have the damage?
He has the super
to get
effective
through
Ice
this
Beam.
Gothitelle and the leftovers Polytoad. That especially is going to be really tough for Marco to break, especially considering
Ice
soon
Beam
as
freeze would be
Polytoad goes
insane
for a
right now.
move that Wolf wants it to use for the rest
He
of
has
the
to
game.
recover again,
Encore
right?
is still on the table. Not to mention Gothitelle doing some okay damage with Psychic, has the chance for those special defense drops as well, which we saw come into play in that first game.
At least when you're looking at a Porygon 2 to try and close out this match, it's
The
a little
Encore
bit
is really
better
scary.
posed than what we saw the Torkoal versus Polytoad yesterday. A little bit of a better chance.
Sped F drop?
But
No
this
sped F
damage
drop.
slowly being
Ice Beam into
done.
Polytoad.
With the Terastallization for the Polytoad, that is
No
going to be a
freeze.
nice little
No
jump, but
freeze.
no freeze means Polytoad can retaliate. The Weather Ball again.
Oh, the
critical
crits!
hit, bringing it down to 5 HP.
The critical
Just a
hits!
sliver away from closing this out.
And if there was any chance for Marco to win this game, I think it just evaporated. The Twisted Dimensions returned to normal, and since
Oh my
Polytoad
God,
acted
that
last
crit!
on the prior turn, it will go first on this next turn.
Dude, I think he could have done it. I think he could have
Polytoad,
potentially
the last
won.
little bit.
If he'd stalled out the rain, then he potentially could have done it. But that is
Damage,
Wolfey.
and with that,
Wolfey with the massive win.
and
His 10th regional victory.
win,
Oh my
taking
God.
down the Toronto
There it
Regional
is.
Championship. One of the best trainers competing again and
There
again,
it is.
proving it to everyone out there.
And having to deal with
Congratulations to
Congrats, WolfeyVGC.
Congratulations, WolfeyVGC. He has won 10 regionals
Fire
now.
this season.
No one else has come close to that.
a
That is
reigning
insane.
international champion.
What a
Someone who
what a
has made
legend,
multiple
dude.
finals already.
Also, lovely guy, fantastic guy. So WolfeyVGC, no, very important.